Players at the academy face accidents while subduing dragons on the front lines.
Rank 1 Strongest Support Hero. Powerful energy bursts from a portal as creatures are struck down. Ready for the coming battle. A vicious monster snarls loudly. Saintess Lee Seo unleashes an S-rank holy light.
Ruby Tower Master Hong Hyun-ah summons an S-rank firestorm.
The S-rank Ruby Tower Master. A giant snake lunges at a warrior clad in purple energy,
Cutting through the massive beast.
the victorious S-rank Black Knight,
Entering the dangerous monster arena. Finding the powerful True Blood Stone.
he tells the vampire girl that he found something important for her.
The black-haired man offers her the stone to raise her to an S-rank hero.
Witnessing a brilliant hero evolution, he notes that he has successfully raised his 1000th S-rank hero.
The player notes that there is nothing left for him to do.
He considers raising some mediocre heroes since he has hit S-rank in every class. He reacts to a special EX rank quest to prevent world destruction, noting he thought S was the highest rank. Powerful EX rank heroes revealed. A click sounds as he declares that he is accepting the challenge. He wonders if he is inside the Dragon Slayer Academy game, realizing the reincarnation quest worked.
Kim Ho realizes he is in the tutorial forest and wonders if he is starting from scratch.
A shimmer sounds as he checks his status window and sighs at being completely reset. An unexpected system development occurs.
He realizes he can grind back up and asks if there is another reward.
He remembers that the tutorial quest only requires running away from low-level mobs. He is shocked to see 2 S-rank bosses in the tutorial and wonders if the quest cost this. Staring at the massive dragon, he decides that hiding is the safest option while fleeing from the 2 bosses.
Kim Ho realizes he will die before he even starts if he gets caught in the dragon's attack.
A devastating firestorm erupts. He explains that copying a trait requires witnessing its activation and identifying the target's name and rank.
He confidently notes that meeting the requirements is easy for him.
Watching the dragon intently.
Copying an S-rank trait. He celebrates snagging an S-rank elemental resistance copy this early. A rustle sounds as he touches a leaf, satisfied with his trait but lamenting his lack of a mana engine for skills. He spots something unexpected as the wind begins blowing backward. The dragon breathes searing fire. A massive lightning strike surges. He identifies the dragon's strongest move and prepares to run despite his resistance. He sprints in terror, fearing he might die if caught at such a close range. The system confirms tutorial completion and lists the rewards before starting the second tutorial. Chatter sounds as the train bound for the academy waits, and someone asks a passenger to get up. The brown-haired girl explains there are no empty seats and asks to share the one with the sleeper. She wonders aloud if this silver-haired girl is actually asleep.
A slide sounds as Kim Ho apologizes for waking them and asks if there is a seat.
The brown-haired girl confirms there is a seat, but notes the sleeper is not answering.
The silver-haired girl reacts with shock as she is suddenly awakened.
Kim Ho introduces himself while calling out to Seo Ye-in as Go Hyun-woo lets out an exhausted sigh. Kim Ho invites Go Hyun-woo to join them as Seo Ye-in gives a silent nod and the new arrival introduces himself. Go Hyun-woo vows to repay his debt to Kim Ho, who wonders why he was late while noting his classic protagonist energy.
Go Hyun-woo explains that 2 dragons distracted him, prompting Kim Ho to admit he also faced them and nearly died.
A loud hiss sounds as the train begins to depart for the academy. Kim Ho reflects on how boringly well he knew this world until now, sensing that things have finally changed. Kim Ho looks at his 2 new companions, Go Hyun-woo and Seo Ye-in.
He observes the crowd, realizing that every face on the train is completely unfamiliar to him. Recognizing that future quests might change, Kim Ho decides he must stay alert for any discrepancies in the timeline.
A soft hum sounds as Kim Ho notices Seo Yi-in staring at him with an intense, unblinking gaze. Seo Yi-in possesses a unique trait that allows her to perceive the world as measurable numerical data. She analyzes Go Hyun-woo's status and concludes that his skills and traits are entirely average. Turning her gaze to Kim Ho, she is shocked to find his status obscured and realizes he is truly special. Recalling advice to be kind to those who interest her, Seo Yi-in feels a sudden, uncharacteristic blush.
A snap sounds as she reaches into her bag and pulls out a small treat. Seo Yi-in offers a cookie to Kim Ho, asking if he would like one.
Kim Ho is surprised by the gesture and offers his thanks as he accepts the gift. A crunch sounds as Kim Ho bites into the cookie, finding its flavor to be unremarkable and average. Kim Ho asks Go Hyun-woo about the large wrapped weapon beside him, earning a compliment for his keen observation. Go Hyun-woo explains it is a sacred relic he is currently unqualified to unseal, keeping it wrapped for now. He brandishes a simple iron blade, claiming it as his current companion since he has yet to face a worthy foe. A bang sounds as Shin Byung-chul bursts into the compartment, cheerfully asking to join them after Kim Ho's suggestion. Kim Ho identifies the boisterous newcomer, who laughs and asks if his suspicious behavior was that obvious. Shin Byung-chul introduces his errand service, offering to procure anything for the right price to promote his business.
Kim Ho asks if he fulfills illegal requests and notes he is currently being hunted, catching the salesman off guard.
Shin Byung-chul admits he was easy to read after Kim Ho mentions his anxious glances out the window. A sharp gasp sounds as Shin Byung-chul realizes he has been found by his pursuers.
The disciplinary committee arrives, led by an orange-haired girl who declares they already know about his activities.
Shin Byung-chul laments the early arrival of the committee while Kim Ho watches the confrontation unfold.
Kim Ho notes that committee members enroll early to receive briefings on school procedures and enforcement.
The orange-haired girl demands that Shin Byung-chul immediately surrender the prohibited item in his possession. Shin Byung-chul compares their pursuit to loan sharks as a crackling electrical energy begins to fill the air.
A rare lightning mage prepares to strike, causing Kim Ho to note the scarcity of her elemental affinity.
Kim Ho decides to seize the opportunity to copy a useful skill, letting his cookie slip from his hand. A soft thud sounds as the cookie rolls away, with Kim Ho claiming he prefers to avoid direct confrontation. The lightning mage narrows her eyes, focusing her power for a decisive strike against the target. She unleashes her hummingbird technique, sending a surge of blue electricity toward the cornered salesman.
A flash sounds as Shin Byung-chul raises his arm in a desperate attempt to shield himself from the bolt.
A dull impact sounds as Kim Ho suddenly intervenes, catching the mage's electrified fist with his bare hand. Crackling blue sparks dance around Kim Ho's fingers as he effortlessly holds back the magical assault. The orange-haired girl looks on in disbelief, asking Kim Ho if he is an accomplice in the illicit trade. A steady footstep sounds as Kim Ho clarifies he is not an accomplice while approaching the committee. Kim Ho points to his ruined treat on the floor, accusing the girl of making him drop his cookie. The orange-haired girl stares at him with wide, confused eyes, repeating the word cookie in shock. A long-haired girl calls his reason pathetic and warns him to move or face her flames as she clenches her fist. Go Hyun-woo steps forward and warns them to be careful, stating he will intervene if they draw their weapons. A heavy silence fills the hallway as the two groups face off in a tense, high-stakes standoff. The orange-haired girl offers a cafeteria dessert coupon as compensation, which Kim Ho happily accepts to end the dispute. Shin Byung-chul asks about his own safety, but Kim Ho dismisses him while celebrating his successful skill copy. The orange-haired girl explains the severity of the prank involving the stolen wig.
Song Chun-hae warns Kim Ho to avoid associating with the suspicious salesman. A huffing sound follows Song Chun-hae as Gum Jo-han vows to remember Kim Ho. Shin Byung-chul identifies the discipline committee members as the school's elite students. Song Chun-hae is revealed as the powerful granddaughter of the renowned Thunderlord. The prestigious masters and backgrounds of the other committee members are detailed. Shin Byung-chul departs cheerfully, leaving Kim Ho to reflect on the lively students.
Kim Ho admits his intervention was driven by curiosity regarding rare lightning magic.
Shin Byung-chul asks for more details about the lightning bird technique he witnessed. The hummingbird spell is analyzed for its incredible speed and non-damaging nature.
A quick pat sounds as Kim Ho examines the crackling blue energy in his hand.
The effectiveness of the bird spell depends entirely on the caster's underlying skill.
Kim Ho notes that a more experienced mage would have adjusted the bird's flight.
He concludes the girl lacks combat experience since the spell flew straight to him.
Kim Ho realizes the single spell revealed a surprising amount of information.
He identifies the power of her trait based on the rank of the skill used. Shin Byung-chul calls their meeting fate, while Kim Ho suggests sharing more info.
A sudden chuck sounds as Shin Byung-chul pledges his full support to Kim Ho.
Kim Ho invites the salesman to follow him to a specific location on the train. A soft rustle sounds as Kim Ho pulls a cloth cover off a hidden object.
A heavy dud-dung sounds as an out-of-order slot machine is finally revealed.
Kim Ho explains the train's past as a casino and its current unfinished cleanup. The salesman notes that the machine clearly appears to be completely non-functional. The machine suddenly glows as a hidden event for the broken slot machine triggers. A metallic click sounds as Kim Ho pulls the lever, calling it a mandatory pick.
The machine dispenses a simple bottle of water instead of a valuable prize.
A dull thud sounds as the two men stare at the disappointing reward. Shin Byung-chul questions the risk while Kim Ho explains the items violate school rules. As Kim Ho misses again, Han So-min suddenly appears to catch them breaking rules.
Han So-min warns of demerits as Kim Ho asks his companion to stall her.
The blue-haired girl explains the consequences of assisting a student who breaks rules. Shin Byung-chul requests a match to settle the dispute with the trained swordswoman. A determined shout sounds as Han So-min charges forward to begin the duel. A sharp clash sounds as the two students engage in a fast-paced sword fight. The battle intensifies as they exchange rapid strikes in the narrow hallway. Han So-min focuses her energy, preparing for a more powerful offensive maneuver. A loud crack sounds as she lunges forward with incredible force and speed. A pained sounds as Shin Byung-chul struggles against her superior internal energy.
Kim Ho decides to use his Amplify ability to see more of the fight's potential.
The system confirms a rank increase for Shin Byung-chul's core trait during the battle. The duel continues fiercely as a timer tracks the remaining duration of the buff. Kim Ho watches the fight while waiting for the slot machine's next available spin. He reflects on the gambling mechanics and his plan to use borrowed silver.
Kim Ho identifies the machine's hidden pity system that guarantees a jackpot soon.
A celebratory sound echoes as the fifth spin fails to produce the top reward.
Kim Ho prepares to insert his last coin for the final, guaranteed jackpot attempt.
The sixth spin hits the jackpot, dispensing a rare and powerful purple crystal. A system window identifies the dangerous dark ice crystal and its lethal risks. Han So-min is forced back by a sudden surge of power during the confrontation. Kim Ho notes the situation is not over as a broken blade falls. A bright flash of energy signals the end of a fierce exchange. He quickly consumes the liquid from the glass jar, finding he has seen what he needed to. A sharp, pained sounds as Kim Ho clutches his throat, prompting a worried shout from his companion. System notifications detail the rapid application and removal of the frozen status effect. Kim Ho regains his composure and claims he is fine, leaving Han So-min in a state of utter shock. He notes the deadly properties of the dark ice crystal, considering himself a rare exception to its lethal petrification. He feels the harmful cold being nullified as a surge of dense energy begins to concentrate within his body. So Ye-in questions the validity of his excuse while privately mocking the gullibility required to believe it. He reflects on the 1-hour cooldown of his ability and decides to keep his cards hidden for now. So Ye-in notes the inherent restrictions of such a powerful skill, while Kim Ho promises future opportunities for its use. A grand fortress stands atop a lush, mountainous island surrounded by a vast sea. The steam train speeds across the watery tracks as it finally approaches the destination. Historical records describe the land's dark past as a lawless territory overrun by criminals and dungeons. A legendary hero is depicted defeating the criminals and conquering every dungeon in his path. The hero raises his sword in triumph after founding the city and its prestigious academy. An announcement rings out across the grounds, directing the new first-year students to gather. Song Chun-hae walks through the courtyard as Seo Ye-in laughs at the vibrant energy of the students. A student frantically tries to catch a jumping tiger cub as Kim Ho notes the growing crowd. The trio is stopped by an unexpected call as they navigate through the busy campus grounds. A stern-looking girl with a green armband blocks their path with a demanding expression. Kim Ho sits calmly in an interrogation room as a heavy dung sounds in the silence. A diagnostic machine shows a clear result, leading the administrator to conclude that nothing is physically wrong. He reflects on how the frozen status was lifted, proving that the item was not actually forbidden. Oh Se-hun identifies himself as the head of the discipline committee and warns that disobedience alone warrants punishment. He decides to waive the penalty since it was a first offense, wishing the new student a good semester. Oh Se-hun enjoys his coffee while noting that Song Chun-hae was displeased with the outcome. They conclude that there was no logical reason to use the machine unless there was a hidden objective. Song Chun-hae argues that he likely obtained an illegal skill and suggests using a magnifying glass to expose him. Oh Se-hun questions their next move if a deeper search with the magnifying glass still yields no results. Song Chun-hae bows and apologizes for her carelessness while Oh Se-hun calls for patience and time. He urges her to hurry so she does not miss the upcoming entrance ceremony. Han So-min offers her thanks for the seat as the students gather in the main hall. A system chime sounds as Kim Ho completes the tutorial, receiving silver and a weapon selection ticket. A low murmur spreads through the crowd as the principal finally arrives at the podium. The principal is revealed to be a retired hero from the front lines, despite his casual appearance. Students discuss the principal's immense hidden power and his history of being rejected by the Saints. Kim Ho notes with amusement that the principal's count of rejections has recently risen to 5. The principal welcomes the new students and offers his congratulations on their entry into the academy. He explains that the academy was founded to train specialized warriors for the war against dragons. He urges the students to consider the weight of the title they have come here to earn. Kim Ho finds the principal's long philosophical lecture about the nature of a slayer to be quite tedious. An exhausted groan sounds from the students as the principal insists on sharing just one last thing. A quick series of tops sounds as the principal finally concludes his speech and wishes them luck. Han So-min praises the meaningful speech, while Kim Ho asks if she truly enjoyed the long lecture. An administrator announces updated rules for forbidden items and warns of severe penalties for violations. She declares that new students are restricted to the ground level of the dungeon for their safety. A sharp glare punctuates her warning for students to study the rules and avoid acting on curiosity. Kim Ho notes how compact the ceremony was as he watches his companion rest. The students look on with wide eyes as something catches their immediate attention.
Xinjiang dismisses the scars on his face as a small incident, while a tiger cub wreaks havoc nearby. Go Hyun-woo, the light brown-haired boy with whisker-like cheek scars, smiles confidently while pointing upwards. He declares that a big day is waiting for them as they prepare for the events ahead. Kim Ho, the black-haired boy, walks through a stone hallway as a creak sounds from a nearby door. Han So-min, the long black-haired girl, peeks out and notes they are neighbors, though Kim Ho finds the coincidence unpleasant. Entering his room, Kim Ho sheds his jacket with a soft swish and reflects on his busy schedule. He decides against immediate sleep, feeling he should use his remaining time to make progress on his goals.
Seated in a meditative pose on his bed, Kim Ho focuses his internal energy. He considers his overflowing mana from the dark ice crystal and resolves to attempt crafting a core before his time runs out. Brilliant blue energy swirls around Kim Ho as he concentrates intensely on his task. He declares his intention to make a core, the vital power engine required to use skills that consume mana or internal energy. A detailed illustration of a human heart glows with concentrated blue energy amidst swirling patterns. Narrative text explains that a power engine, known as a core, is essential for channeling mana into powerful skills. Kim Ho remains in deep meditation, surrounded by glowing blue digital data and magical runes. He notes that while he lacks real-life experience in crafting cores, he has a rough idea of the necessary procedure. The scene shifts to Go Hyun-woo's room, where the scarred boy sits in silence on a decorative rug. He appears focused and calm as he engages in his own private training session during the quiet hours. Go Hyun-woo reflects on his recent duel, imagining a sharp clash between two swords. He notes that both combatants were holding back, yet the outcome would have been difficult to predict even if they had gone all out. A memory shows Kim Ho stepping in to save Go Hyun-woo, just as a blue energy surge shatters a blade. Go Hyun-woo realizes that without Kim Ho's timely intervention, he would have been defeated much sooner. Go Hyun-woo reflects on the word that has haunted his thoughts since meeting Kim Ho. He admires the incredible composure and piercing gaze that only the truly powerful possess, recognizing Kim Ho's hidden strength. Staring at a broken, wrapped sword leaning against his wall, Go Hyun-woo contemplates his path forward. He wonders if he should seek Kim Ho's assistance to further his training and reach the next level. Go Hyun-woo resolves to rely on his own strength for now, determined to do what he can on his own. A vibrant blue aura surrounds him as he focuses his energy, committing himself to self-improvement. The scene shifts to a bustling classroom filled with students in dark uniforms. Kim Ho sits at his desk while a red-haired girl and a blue-haired girl chat cheerfully in the foreground of the crowded room. So Ye-in enters the classroom with a wide, tired yawn as the morning sun shines through the window. Han So-min greets her, relieved she didn't oversleep, while Kim Ho notes that the timing is about right. Students whisper among themselves, wondering where their homeroom teacher has gone. One student notes that the bell has already rung and concludes that whoever their teacher is, they are certainly not punctual. The classroom door slides open with a mechanical whir, drawing the immediate attention of the students. A group of girls in the front row notices the arrival, excitedly whispering that the teacher is finally here. A sudden, heavy thud sounds as a man enters the room. The blonde-haired girl looks on in shock while her companion gasps, both visibly startled by the imposing presence of the newcomer standing before them. A rough-looking man with a scarred face and messy brown hair stands before the chalkboard. He identifies himself as Lee Soo-dok and announces that he will be their homeroom teacher for the upcoming year. Lee Soo-dok points a finger at a nervous student, demanding to know what people call him. The brown-haired girl stammers in fear,
hesitantly identifying him by his well-known reputation as a villain hunter.
Kim Ho watches calmly as another student stammers out the teacher's feared nickname, the Human Butcher. He silently processes this information, noting the significance of such a lethal reputation among the students.
Narration describes the world of Dragon Slayer Academy, populated by superhumans who have surpassed human limits. Among them are villains, individuals who wield their immense power to satisfy their own twisted and dark desires. Lee Soo-dok is shown pinning a criminal to the ground amidst city ruins, a discarded saber lying nearby. His nickname implies a history of executing far more villains than he has ever bothered to capture alive. Lee Soo-dok leans against the podium, explaining that he took the teaching position only at the principal's request. He asserts his professionalism, claiming to have always carried out every request perfectly throughout his career. An ominous, dark screen displays Lee Soo-dok's sincere hope that the students will not ruin his perfect track record. The message carries a heavy weight of professional expectation and a subtle, underlying threat. The students tremble in fear as a tense atmosphere fills the classroom. Han So-min and her friend huddle together, shaking uncontrollably, while the blonde-haired girl gulps nervously at the teacher's intense and intimidating presence. Lee Soo-dok tops the chalkboard with a piece of chalk, producing a series of quick, sharp clicks. He transitions to the main point of the lecture, beginning to explain the complex details of the Academy's grading system. Han So-min and her friend listen as Lee Soo-dok details the point distribution for the year. He explains that the written exam and attitude scores provide easy points for those who can simply stay out of trouble. Lee Soo-dok warns that he will be keeping a close eye on any potential problems. In the back of the room, Go Hyun-woo and a friend exchange nervous glances and whistles, sensing the teacher's strict oversight. Practical exams are described as being split between dungeon conquests and PvP matches. Lee Soo-dok explains that these are graded on a curve, requiring students to consistently outperform those around them to succeed. Lee Soo-dok finishes writing the total score breakdown on the chalkboard with a final tap. Seeing that no one has questions, he instructs the students to head directly to the arena for the next phase. A fierce clash rings out in the arena as two students engage in a fast-paced sword duel. Sparks fly from the impact of their blades against a background of black ink splatters and intense energy. Crowds cheer from the stands as students compete on multiple circular platforms below. Go Hee-woon excitedly calls it a big event, while Han So-min reminds Kim Ho of their conversation from the previous day. A large, blood-red graphic declares the start of a death match. Splatters of white ink surround the text, emphasizing the high stakes and potential for intense combat in the upcoming placement exam matches. A student raises his hand in surrender as an opponent points a wooden sword at his chest. Narration explains that duels end when HP reaches 0, someone is incapacitated, or a clear declaration of defeat is made. Two students face off within glowing energy barriers as crowds look on from above. A system update announces a 5-minute time limit, noting that judge decisions or draws will resolve matches without a clear winner. Go Hyun-woo notes that a loss or draw results in 0 points for the student. Han So-min looks on as Kim Ho confirms there are no deductions but also no gains from such inconclusive match outcomes. A blue system window displays the details of a subquest for the placement exam. Kim Ho needs at least one PvP win and a mid-tier ranking in the dungeon conquest to earn a new copy skill slot. Kim Ho views the placement exam as a perfect opportunity to evaluate the other students. He looks for individuals worth training or those possessing powerful skills and traits that he might want to copy. A formal announcement calls for Kim Ho and Hong Yen-hwa to step forward for their match. Han So-min cheers enthusiastically for Kim Hyung, encouraging him to do his absolute best in the upcoming duel. Kim Ho stands calmly in the arena, holding a simple wooden staff as a sharp swoosh sounds. His opponent, the red-haired girl Hong Yanhua, prepares to face him as golden energy swirls around their feet. Hong Yanhua is identified as a member of the Ruby Tower, a group specializing in powerful flame-based magic. She grips her ornate staff with a determined expression, ready to begin the magical confrontation. Kim Ho offers a small, confident smile as he prepares for the match to begin. He silently asks his opponent to play along with his act for the next 5 minutes of their scheduled duel. Hong Yanhua focuses on building her reputation by defeating opponents with significant name value. She gazes at Kim Ho with a dismissive expression, noting that she has never even heard of him before today. Hong Yanhua scoffs at Kim Ho's choice of weapon, an E-rank earth staff that mages would typically ignore. A system window confirms the staff only slightly amplifies earth element and protection magic effects. Hong Yanhua continues her analysis, noting that Kim Ho is likely not an earth element mage since he is not from the Emerald Tower. She assumes his staff is intended for providing support magic. A countdown begins as Hong Yanhua prepares to launch her offensive. A sharp hum sounds as she concludes that the length of Kim Ho's staff indicates he is a stationary, turret-type supporter. A massive eruption of fire fills the arena as Hong Yanhua activates her combustion skill. She resolves to finish the match quickly and decisively as the signal to start finally rings out across the grounds. Hong Yanhua walks through the arena as students whisper about a mysterious sparkle they witnessed during the brief match. They praise her skill, noting that such a display is expected from a Ruby Tower specialist. A large scoreboard displays Hong Yanhua's name with a perfect score of 100%. The crowd reacts with utter shock and amazement at the revelation of her flawless and rapid performance in the duel. Footsteps forward as a student notes an unexpected one-hit knockout. Kim Ho wonders if his initial attack was completely ineffective. The scoreboard shows both Hong Yanhua and Kim Ho at full health. Hong Yanhua questions her failure and suspects he used a dispel skill. She prepares a new spell, challenging him to withstand her next move. Kim Ho stands in fire as she vows to intercept any opening. Hong Yanhua is confused by his refusal to move amidst the flames. She dares him to maintain his confidence against her true power. Hong Yanhua shouts for him to try and block her impending attack. A massive fire pillar erupts as she unleashes her combustion magic. Kim Ho remains perfectly calm while surrounded by the intense fire. Hong Yanhua continues her frantic assault as sparks fly everywhere. Spectators praise the Ruby Tower's skill, while a student grunts in pain. The red-haired girl stands hunched and exhausted as the flames subside. Hong Yanhua is stunned that he survived her master-level magic unscathed. Kim Ho prepares his trump card as blue energy surges from his staff. Hong Yanhua gasps as she recognizes the legendary hummingbird technique. A swift beam of blue energy strikes across the arena floor. She grunts in pain as the energy hits, forcing her back. A system alert confirms she has been paralyzed as she collapses. Kim Ho advises her to save her remaining skills for later. He tells her to consider her future matches as she clicks her tongue. The crowd reacts in shock as the scoreboard confirms Kim Ho's victory. Kim Ho notes he stood out too much and resolves to be careful. He is immediately summoned for another match, much to his frustration. Students discuss Song Chun-hei, a Topaz Tower prodigy on the disciplinary committee. Song Chun-hei confronts him, eager to check something during their duel. Kim Ho stares back at her silently as the tension builds. He shocks the orange-haired girl by announcing his immediate withdrawal. Lee Soo-dok demands to know why he is forfeiting so suddenly. Kim Ho claims he is unwell despite the teachers questioning his score. Song Chun-hei asks if he is still forfeiting, and he confirms it. The match is recorded as a forfeit loss as she clinches her glove. Song Chun-hae calls him pathetic for failing to be prepared for battle. She quotes her grandfather's belief that only persistent victors reach the top. Kim Ho recalls her grandfather, the Thunder Monarch, and acknowledges the advice.
He dismissively says he isn't cut out for it, letting her win.
Disappointed, Sang Chun-hae walks away, regretting her brief hope in him. Kim Ho calls out to her as she turns back in confusion. He asks her to send him a dessert coupon with a smile. Song Chun-hae is furious as he promises to wait for the gift. Her next match begins against a spear-wielding student named Yang Ji-hong. Song Chun-hae stands with menacing blue electricity, confusing her new opponent. A cataclysmic bolt of lightning incinerates the arena as the duel begins. Song Chun-hae wins flawlessly as her opponent lies unconscious on the floor. Kim Ho and a classmate observe the opponent's severe burn injuries. A student tells Kim Ho he made the right choice by forfeiting. Song Chun-hae shoots a lethal glare back toward the student stands. The student is startled by her look while Kim Ho stays silent. Kim Ho is satisfied with her flashy performance as a hero's granddaughter.
The short-haired student asks who forfeited the match, while another notes the person probably got scared of Song Chun-hae, leading to rumors that his win against Hong Yan-hwa was just luck and that he is a coward. Kim Ho smirks to himself, thinking that having a reputation as a lucky coward is exactly what he intended. The brown-haired Go Hyun-woo notes the match is starting as an announcement declares Song Chun-hae is up next, while Kim Ho wonders who the victim will be this time. The silver-haired girl stands ready with twin pistols as a magical glow surrounds her. Go Hyun-woo expresses shock that she is a gunner, a fact that Kim Ho admits he only just realized as well. The orange-haired girl looks on as spectators note that gunners have a natural advantage against mages, wondering if Song Chun-hae might actually lose. Go Hyun-woo says they'll have to wait and see, but Kim Ho believes it will be hard for her to lose as long as she sticks to the basics. Kim Ho offers a bet of 5 silver on the outcome. A sudden, sharp clack sounds as Go Hyun-woo excitedly agrees to the deal. The scoreboard shows both competitors at full health as they prepare to face off. The silver-haired girl opens fire with her pistols. Rapid green energy blasts streak through the air. The orange-haired girl calls upon her magic as the projectiles close in on her. The mage deftly avoids the oncoming energy bolts. A sudden, sharp clack sounds as the girl blocks a direct shot with a spark of electrical energy. Go Hyun-woo is stunned that she blocked the attack, while Kim Ho remains calm, noting it was expected. Song Chun-hae rides a massive blue bird construct, and Kim Ho reflects that her immense mana makes even low-rank summons look powerful. A torrent of blue energy sweeps across the battlefield toward her opponent. The gunner is caught in the middle of a swirling magical vortex. Song Chun-hae looks down at her downed opponent. The silver-haired girl groans in pain while trying to recover. The mage watches as the gunner struggles to get back on her feet. Go Hyun-woo exclaims that the fight would have ended if that hit had landed directly, while Kim Ho notes that the opponent has slowed down. Kim Ho reflects that electrocution makes the next hit certain, predicting an easy victory for the orange-haired girl. A sudden, quick swish sounds as the fallen girl reaches into her pouch for a grenade. A sudden, thunderous boom sounds as a smoke grenade detonates. Go Hyun-woo is surprised by the smoke, but Kim Ho calls it a brilliant move since physical bombs would have been easily blocked. Song Chun-hae is alert in the haze while the crowd shouts that the tide is turning and that the gunner's true strength is about to shine. Dense smoke continues to obscure the arena. The orange-haired girl is caught off guard by a sudden attack from the mist. Shock registers on the girl's face as she reacts to the strike. Song Chun-hae thinks she barely avoided a direct hit with her barrier, but the impact was still enough to throw her off balance. The mage realizes things will get dangerous quickly as the silver-haired girl repositions herself.
Go Hyun-woo is amazed by the student's wealth and use of an invisibility cloak, while Kim Ho agrees that switching to a rifle was a smart choice. A sudden, sharp clack sounds as the orange-haired girl dodges a high-speed projectile. The scoreboard indicates the mage's health is falling as the clock ticks down. Song Chun-hae realizes she needs to stop playing defense if she wants to win. The silver-haired girl aims her rifle through the dissipating smoke. The mage focuses on reading the direction of the magical bullets to prepare her counter. Song Chun-hae finds her opening and prepares to strike. The girl lands a precise blow on her opponent. A sudden, quick tap sounds as the gunner is forced to retreat. Song Chun-hae points toward her target with a confident smirk. The orange-haired girl declares that the next attack will be impossible to dodge. A sudden, thunderous roar sounds as a massive blast of blue energy consumes the silver-haired girl. The timer hits 0 as the gunner lies defeated on the arena floor. Go Hyun-woo is shocked by the loss, but Kim Ho thinks it was a predictable outcome. Kim Ho reflects that the orange-haired girl seems to have no equals among the first-year students. Kim Ho adds that the gunner's ability to hold out for so long was still very impressive. A series of sharp clacks sound as Go Hyun-woo begrudgingly hands over the silver coins he lost on the bet. Go Hyun-woo's brown-haired friend suggests another bet under the same conditions, while Kim Ho asks if he is a gambling addict, noting that once was enough. The brown-haired boy tells Kim Ho he will change his mind soon, as Go Hyun-woo stands in the center of the arena, preparing to face his next opponent. A large, muscular man named Jo Byuk, the disciple of the Fist King, stands with his arms crossed as he is introduced to the crowd. Go Hyun-woo's friend asks Kim Ho who he is betting on this time, and Kim Ho predicts that the Fist King's disciple will likely win the match. The brown-haired boy decides to bet on the other side, accusing Kim Ho of being rough on his friend, but Kim Ho clarifies he is only discussing the match. The friend asks what he meant by his prediction, and Kim Ho tells him that he will understand once he sees the duel play out. Go Han-woo focuses on the match, thinking about how Kim Hyung is watching him from the stands. Go Hyun-woo grips the hilt of his weapon, determined to show his victory despite knowing the fight will be difficult. Jo Byuk suggests that Go Hyun-woo should draw the sword on his back instead of the one he is currently holding. Jo Byuk notes that it is unfortunately not the right time yet and calls the situation a shame as he prepares to fight. Jo Byuk takes a powerful combat stance, warning his opponent that he will not be going easy on him. Go Hyun-woo prepares for the engagement, telling his opponent to come at him as he levels his sword. The match begins with both students at full health as Jo Byuk launches a rapid charge toward Go Hyun-woo. The two combatants engage in a high-speed exchange of strikes and dodges across the arena floor. Go Hyun-woo is impressed by the flawless movements of the Fist King's disciple, letting out a pained grunt as Jo Byuk lands a heavy blow. Fighters clash in center ring. Impact sends the boy sliding. Gritting his teeth, Go Hyun-woo realizes that basic attacks will not be effective after being pushed back despite absorbing some of the impact. Go Hyun-woo leaps into air. Go Hyun-woo activates the blue sword technique, resolving to finish the fight with a single, decisive blow. Energy explosion fills the arena. Sword shatters under immense pressure. Go Hyun-woo admits his defeat and states that he cannot continue the match after losing his weapon. Jo Byuk looks forward to their next match as the scoreboard confirms an unexpected victory for Go Hyun-woo and a loss for Jo Byuk. Kim Ho watches from the stands, noting that the iron sword was unable to withstand the power of the technique. Kim Ho recalls seeing Go Han-woo use his techniques on the train, noting that he treats his swords as if they are consumables. The brown-haired boy is shocked and asks Kim Ho how he was able to predict the outcome of the match so accurately. Kim Ho places a hand on the boy's shoulder, telling him that he talks too much as the boy flinches. Kim Ho asks for the 5 silver coins from their bet, but the boy nervously admits he doesn't have the cash on him.
Kim Ho tells the boy that he does not necessarily need the payment in cash, causing the boy to wonder what else he might want. Kim Ho suggests that the boy can pay him with information instead, pointing toward his notebook. Everyone gathers at the dungeon building. His attention is taken by a series of quiet mumbles as the brown-haired boy asks who will win at the end while eating, and Kim Ho tells him to finish his food first. Kim Ho asks for details about the promising talents from the 4 great factions, and the boy claims to be full of top-tier information. Factions, guilt, magic, knight. Mo Young-jun of the Murim Alliance is identified as the grandson of the sword saint Mo Young-hyansong. Hong Yunhua is listed as a member of the Magic Tower Society and the likely next head of the Ruby Magic Tower. Park Nari from the Guild Union is introduced as a druid who travels with a tiger on her shoulder, alongside mention of a hidden talent. Lee Sang-hyun of the Knight Order is introduced as the son of the Swordmaster. Boy flips through stacked lineup. The brown-haired boy suddenly asks where Go Hyunwoo went, looking around in surprise. He realizes that he completely forgot his duties as the club president, looking panicked. The boy runs off quickly as Kim Ho waves goodbye, noting the mess he left behind. Kim Ho watches Han So-min as she eats quietly, feeling that he shouldn't leave his first bond in this world, looking so down. Kim Ho asks Han So-min about the cookie she dropped on the train the day before, catching her attention. Kim Ho reveals a dessert coupon sent by Song Chon-hae, telling Han So-min that she deserves a share since it was originally her cookie. A small cake topped with blueberries appears from a system window, and Han So-min thanks Kim Ho for the offer to eat together. Kim Ho chews on food. Han So-min admits that she lost her match against Song Chun-hae while sitting on the grass. Kim Ho explains that it is normal to lose against someone with such superior power, noting that low-level magic bullets cannot break through high-tier barriers. The silver-haired girl stares at a glowing projectile as Kim Ho explains how mana training strengthens basic magic bullets. She asks why such training is even necessary, leaving Kim Ho stunned by her lack of formal experience. He wonders how she managed to create magic bullets at all, causing her to tilt her head in confusion. While sitting on the grass, the girl confirms that she has never actually learned the magic bullet skill. Kim Ho is shocked, realizing she must be a natural genius to use gunner skills without basic training. He reflects on how she held her own against a top student and considers her incredible untapped potential. Kim Ho offers to spend some time helping her train, and she quietly accepts his proposal. He assures her that mastering mana will make her future matches much easier before they prepare to leave. A scarred instructor gathers the students in the dungeon wing to explain the rules of the conquest exam. He introduces the Mist Forest dungeon and reveals the strict 10-minute time limit and rank locking rules. A display explains that the final score is determined by the quantity and quality of monsters defeated. The instructor details the rank-locked zone, where all equipment and skills are reduced to the lowest rank. Nervous students listen as he warns that even their cores will drop in rank, requiring careful mana management. The instructor scoffs at the students who are already collapsing and groaning under the pressure of the training area. He looks over the struggling group with a look of disappointment, finding very few students to be half-decent. The leaderboard highlights Han So-mi in first place as the instructor prepares to call the next group. The scarred man announces that it is now time for Seo Yi-in and Kim Ho to take their turn. Kim Ho advises the silver-haired girl to use a rifle for this specific challenge, and she agrees to his suggestion. He tells her to focus on headshots if she loses control of her mana, drawing suspicion from a nearby girl. Kim Ho offers a friendly wave as he prepares to step through the portal and start the exam. He enters the dark mist forest as a notification confirms his equipment and skills are now rank limited. Standing amidst thick vines and fog, Kim Ho resolves to use this opportunity to test his current limits.
He prepares his staff while looking over a holographic interface, readying himself for the first wave of enemies. A snarling green goblin leaps from the brush just as the exam timer begins to count down. Kim Ho reacts instantly, delivering a sharp blow to the creature's face with the end of his staff. He dodges a clumsy axe swing, noting that monsters spawn in random locations the moment a student arrives. By observing the goblin's spawn point, he realizes the dungeon is currently running a specific movement pattern. Kim Ho draws a sharp knife, confident that he has found the perfect opening to end the encounter. With a swift motion, he hurls the dagger across the dark clearing toward a much larger target. The blade strikes a massive orc directly in the eye, dropping the beast with a single accurate throw. Kim Ho stands over his fallen foe, concluding that a magical staff is unnecessary for this level of combat. He decides to simply use the monster's own weapons against them, hoisting a large axe over his shoulder. More green monsters emerge from the gloom, but Kim Ho remains perfectly composed as he faces them. A series of pained cries ring out as Kim Ho begins to rapidly clear the area of enemies. With 7 minutes left on the clock, he continues his efficient hunt through the dense, foggy forest. He senses 2 trolls approaching from behind, but pauses to realize he shouldn't save a replay of this run. Kim Ho deletes the combat data to prevent anyone from noticing how his movements perfectly counter the monsters. He checks his current score, finding that he has already earned over 600 points in mere minutes. Seeing that he has met his quest requirements, he decides to stop so he doesn't attract unwanted attention. Kim Ho concludes his training for the day and turns back toward the swirling blue exit portal. He steps out of the dungeon and back into the hall, looking entirely unbothered by the combat. So Ye-in follows shortly after, appearing exhausted and battered with a final score of 781 points. When Kim Ho asks about her experience, she sighs and admits that the challenge was quite difficult. The instructor notes Kim Ho's score, while other students mock him for presumably quitting the match early. The scarred man thinks Kim Ho's mindset is pathetic, but suddenly stops as he notices something on the board. He is stunned to see that Kim Ho reached a high-tier ranking despite spending so little time inside. Realizing he may have underestimated the boy, the instructor decides he needs to watch him much more closely. Kim Ho watches as other students prepare for their turns, stating his intention to return to the dungeon later. The scoreboard shows Lee Se-young-hyun in first place, followed by Han So-mi and the grandson of a sword saint. Kim Ho reflects on the high level of the top students, wondering if his friend Go Hyun-woo can compete. The scoreboard highlights Go Hyun-woo in first place with over 1,000 points. Nearby students whisper in awe, noting the brown-haired boy's impressive strength during the exam. Kim Ho offers his congratulations to Go Hyun-woo, who excitedly credits Kim Ho for his success. Go Hyun-woo believes the rest interval was key, while Kim Ho playfully suggests he is overthinking things. Other students mock Kim Ho for forfeiting his PvP match, calling his current high rank a fluke. Kim Ho stops a furious Go Hyun-woo from retaliating, advising him that the opinions of others are irrelevant. Despite Go Hyun-woo's frustration over the insults, Kim Ho smiles and insists that he is perfectly fine. Letting out a soft sigh, the brown-haired boy finally accepts his friend's calm stance on the matter. Looking at the updated rankings, they note that the final tally is incomplete because Song Chun-ye's score is pending. Kim Ho looks back toward the dungeon portal as a low, humming energy emanates from its center. Inside the dungeon, Song Chun-ye unleashes powerful lightning magic but is stunned to see her enemies still standing. Song Chun-ye looks absolutely stunned. She realizes that her wide area attacks only minimally affected the movement speed of the monsters. Song Chun-ye recalls Kim Ho's earlier tactical advice regarding specific targeting and mana conservation. She admits to herself that Kim Ho's warnings about the limitations of broad-range magic were entirely accurate.
Song Chun-hae focuses her energy into a single, devastating enchanted strike to finish the battle. Han So-min and the boys wait by the exit as steady footsteps signal someone's arrival. Emerging from the portal, Song Chun-hee looks deeply frustrated and embarrassed by her final performance.
Instructor Lee Soo-dok announces the official end of the placement exam and tells everyone to rest until tomorrow.
With a swift turn, the scarred man dismisses the crowd and heads toward the academy's records room.
An administrator is surprised to see the scarred instructor visiting the archives so late.
Lee Soo-dok demands to see the recording of Kim Ho's performance, surprising the clerk with his rare interest. Fixing the clerk with an intense glare, the instructor repeats his demand for the specific replay file. The clerk types away but discovers that Kim Ho's combat data was never saved to the system. The clerk gasps in shock as he discovers a strange anomaly within the dungeon access logs. Lee Soo-dok confirms his suspicion that Kim Ho deliberately wiped his combat data from the records. Based on the logs, Lee Soo-dok realizes the boy would have shattered records had he stayed the full duration.
The instructor wonders if an infiltrator from a dangerous faction has entered the academy under a false identity.
The clerk suggests escalating the matter to the principal, but Lee Soo-dok hesitates to act without more proof.
He decides it is better to observe the boy's actions from a distance to gather more concrete evidence.
Lee Soo-dok resolves to keep a close eye on Kim Ho until the boy's true intentions are revealed.
Kim Ho stares forward with resolve.
Later at a campus cafe, the three students decide to get some coffee after their long day. Han So-min excuses herself to find a seat while the boys decide to handle the order themselves. Kim Ho and Go Hyun-woo sit down with their drinks, preparing to look over the orientation materials.
Go Hyun-woo admits he is overwhelmed by the booklet, so Kim Ho offers to explain the critical details. Kim Ho asks to see Go Hyun-woo's student ID, which now displays a balance of over 3,000 points. He explains that these points serve as the primary currency for everything within the academy grounds.
Kim Ho details how points are earned through dungeon runs and used for purchasing gear or accessing facilities.
He reminds Go Hyun-woo about the replay notification they received upon exiting the dungeon earlier.
Kim Ho demonstrates the system by purchasing a copy of Han So-min's combat replay for 100 points.
Go Hyun-woo watches in awe as a hologram of the silver-haired girl's battle strategy appears before them.
Kim Ho points out that Go Hyun-woo's own successful run is likely being purchased and studied by others.
He warns that having a replay sold widely allows rivals to analyze and exploit one's combat weaknesses.
The brown-haired boy realizes that his reliance on physical stats will eventually expose his weak mana core. Kim Ho encourages him to spend his earnings on advanced training facilities to bolster his mana capacity.
A vision shows the benefits of the special training room, where high mana density accelerates internal growth. Go Hyun-woo jumps up in excitement, but Kim Ho notes that the room has strict entry requirements. The boys discuss the high cost of the facility, which requires 500 points for a session. Go Hyun-woo contemplates his daily routine, while Kim Ho warns him about managing his point balance wisely.
Kim Ho suggests using a season pass as an alternative method for achieving their goals.
Mentioning that a pass requires taking Mo Young-jun's spot, the black-haired girl admits it seems difficult with her current skills.
Kim Ho offers to obtain the pass for her if she promises to do him a favor in return.
When asked for his terms, the black-haired boy states they will enter the deep dungeon together once she is stronger. He warns that the dungeon is life-threatening and asks for her final decision on the agreement.
Reflecting on his own longing for strength, the brown-haired boy considers the path being shown to him.
Clenching his fist, Go Hyun-woo enthusiastically accepts the proposal from his friend.
Kim Ho instructs him to use the special training room, promising to deliver the season pass within 2 weeks.
Arriving at Workshop 4, the black-haired boy knocks and announces his presence.
Inside the cluttered workshop,
A gray-haired senior looks up from his work and asks who the visitor is.
Kim Ho claims interest in the Magical Engineering Club, but the senior dismisses him and tells him to visit Workshop 1.
After being told that Workshop 1 sent him there, the gray-haired senior sighs in deep frustration. The senior tells him to take a quick look and leave without bothering him further.
Kim Ho agrees to stay quiet as the senior returns to his intricate engineering tasks.
Observing the senior's technique, Kim Ho evaluates his magical engineering skill to be around B rank.
A system notification confirms that Kim Ho is using his copy skill to register the B rank engineering ability.
With his first goal achieved, the black-haired boy begins searching the room for his next objective.
He picks up a large, glowing cube and asks the senior if the blueprint is valuable.
The senior calls the cube blueprint trash and offers to let Kim Ho have it since no one can make it.
Kim Ho offers a heat catalyst reagent purchased for 1,000 points as a trade for the blueprint.
Stunned by the offer, the gray-haired senior realizes the reagent is a highly useful engineering material.
The senior accepts the trade and tells Kim Ho to keep the deal a secret.
Kim Ho smiles as he leaves, satisfied with saving points while the senior believes he traded trash for a profit. A subquest notification appears, detailing the requirements and rewards for the mysterious cube.
The black-haired boy declines the quest, considering the formal requirements to be too much of a hassle. He reflects on his knowledge of S-rank heroes and resolves to craft the Cube of Life on his own.
Entering the mana training room, Kim Ho prepares to use the facility's high mana density for his project.
A system message confirms he is using amplification to temporarily increase his magical engineering rank to S rank. He begins the delicate process of manipulating the glowing blue cube with his enhanced skills.
Kim Ho calculates that at his current pace, the task will take approximately 3 days to complete.
As the timer counts down, the amplification wears off and his engineering rank returns to normal.
Unable to manipulate the cube further, the black-haired boy sits down to refine his mana core through meditation.
He establishes a strict routine of 1 hour of meditation followed by 1 minute of cube construction. Kim Ho resolves to finish the cube before Friday to prepare for a significant upcoming event.
The scene shifts to the academy exterior as the morning sun rises on a new school day.
Kim Ho arrives in class early and greets Seo Yi-in, who is already at her desk.
He looks around the classroom and asks if Go Hyun-woo has arrived yet.
So Ye-in offers the black-haired boy a bag of cookies, which he accepts with a smile. Holding up a cookie, Kim Ho excitedly notes that they are shaped like dinosaurs. Go Hyun-woo arrives and greets them, while Seo Yi-in clarifies that the cookies are actually bears.
The brown-haired boy pumps his fist and expresses how much his stats improved in the special training room.
Kim Ho encourages him and promises to deliver the promised season pass as soon as possible. The instructor enters the room and tells the students to quiet down and take their seats. He displays a holographic image of the arena and announces that battles will now be held there.
The scarred instructor explains the 10-minute time limit and the requirement for 3 matches per week.
Kim Ho watches the presentation with a look of intense determination, resolving to win his battles. The scarred man warns that failure to participate in the matches will result in a score reduction. A system window appears before Kim Ho, displaying a subquest to complete 3 matches in 1 week. Standing up, the black-haired boy tells his friends they should head to the arena immediately. So Ye-in tugs on his sleeve and tells him to hurry as they prepare to leave for the arena. Approaching Kim Ho, the silver-haired girl tells him she has some time available today.
Students whisper among themselves as a black-haired girl asks if the noise they heard was the sound of a champion.
The black-haired boy asks the silver-haired girl if she wants to begin the magic bullet training they discussed today, and she agrees. Kim Ho tells her he will see her later as he prepares for his matches, and she nods in acknowledgement.
The massive stadium stands ready for the upcoming matches.
Kim Ho and the brown-haired boy walk toward their respective duel areas. A red-haired boy with a spear stands in the arena, recognized as the one who previously forfeited.
The brown-haired boy refers to the spearman as a coward as they walk past him.
Furious at the insult, the red-haired boy slams his hand against the railing.
Go Hyun-woo tells Kim Ho that he scored 300 on the placement test and asks how his friend performed.
Stunned, the red-haired boy asks how a coward could have achieved the same score as him.
Yang Ji-hong yells that Kim Ho is not on his level, claiming he only lost because he faced Song Chun-hae early. But Kim Ho mocks him by recalling how that girl was struck by lightning.
Red-faced with anger, the spearman grits his teeth.
Kim Ho notes that they coincidentally ended up with the same placement score.
Yang Ji-hong points his spear and commands the coward to come down so he can demonstrate the gap in their power. The scoreboard displays the match between Yang Ji-hong and Kim Ho. Charging forward with his spear, the red-haired boy vows to end the match in a single strike.
Kim Ho calmly summons his gnarled wooden staff and agrees to finish the fight quickly.
A sudden leap signals the start of the match.
Kim Ho tells his opponent he is stupid for falling for the same trick as a system notification confirms a paralysis status effect has been applied to the spearman. Apologizing, the black-haired boy admits he won't be able to end the fight as cleanly as Song Chun-hae did.
A flurry of heavy strikes rains down on the paralyzed opponent. The scoreboard marks a victory for Kim Ho, while the red-haired boy lies defeated on the ground.
Struggling to rise, Yang Ji-hong claims he was merely caught off guard and insists he would win a rematch. Kim Ho accepts the challenge with a smile.
Another win is registered for Kim Ho as he asks his opponent if he has improved at all.
The spearman screams in pure frustration after another loss.
Looking bored, Kim Ho states that he is tired and wants to wrap things up for the day.
A subquest window shows Kim Ho has completed 2 out of 3 matches, so he decides to pretend he is done.
When the spearman pleads for more, the black-haired boy offers to teach him if he is truly desperate.
Kim Ho demands tuition for his help, causing the red-haired boy to call him cold-blooded.
Yang Ji-hong offers a spiritual pill manufactured by his family, which Kim Ho admits is a decent payment.
Kim Ho adds a final condition that the match must never be spoken of or recorded, and the red-haired boy agrees there is no benefit in word getting out.
With the payment secured, the black-haired boy promises to spar with him until he is satisfied.
Kim Ho finishes the final match, leaving the spearman exhausted on the floor with steam rising from his head.
Kneeling on the ground, the red-haired boy asks for a moment so he can apologize for his previous rudeness.
Admitting he judged him too quickly, the red-haired boy scratches his neck and declares that Kim Ho is no coward.
Kim Ho turns away and suggests they keep pretending he is a coward for now, leaving the other boy confused. Accepting the request, the red-haired boy decides not to ask further, figuring he shouldn't be the only one to suffer. Kim Ho finds Go Hyun-woo and asks how he did, to which the brown-haired boy reports he has 2 wins. Go Hyun-woo tells Kim Ho to go on ahead while he finishes his 3rd match, and Kim Ho wishes him luck.
In a private training room, Kim Ho announces the start of the special lecture on magic bullets to a clapping So Yi-in.
Kim Ho instructs the silver-haired girl to start by attempting to create a magic bullet.
Watching her focus, the black-haired boy is impressed by her mana, but wonders how she lost earlier with such a large lump of energy. He explains that today's lesson will focus on distribution and learning how to use the correct amount of mana for each shot. A flashback shows Seo Yi-in aiming a rifle in an arena match where she leads with a score of 99%. Hiding within a protective shell, the green-haired boy thinks there is no way she can check every hill in the environment. Narration explains that Seo Yi-in's unique eyes allowed her to see the unnatural mana flow between the hills. The green-haired boy remains confident, believing she still won't be able to penetrate his barrier, even if she finds him. He claims he isn't afraid of a gunner who couldn't break a shield, but a bullet suddenly pierces his defense and grazes his face.
The green-haired boy stares in disbelief as his defensive barrier is effortlessly shattered. Seo Yi-en aims her high-tech rifle with a look of calm confidence. Sobbing, the green-haired boy laments his defeat as a final projectile whistles past his head.
A recording analyzed by the instructor notes the silver-haired girl's extraordinary control over her movements.
The scarred instructor observes a holographic orb, noting how easily she toyed with her spear-wielding opponent. He reflects that her growth is not limited to mere combat technique. A flashback of the placement exam reveals her magic was once an unrefined lump of energy.
The instructor is stunned to see a perfectly shaped magic bullet achieved in only 2 days.
Gazing at a different orb, the instructor recognizes Kim Ho and Seo Yin together again. He watches the black-haired boy's match, questioning what he truly is. A quick clatter sounds as Kim Ho sits alone in the training room, meticulously assembling his project. With a satisfied expression, the black-haired boy announces that the cube is finally complete. A system window displays the B-rank cube of life, which boosts the effectiveness of stored items. Kim Ho remains seated, surrounded by glowing blue energy as he continues to refine the artifact. He holds up the vine-covered cube, celebrating the successful end of the difficult construction process.
The notification window confirms the stat-boosting properties and the rank of the cube of life.
Kim Ho reflects on how meditating and using his amplified skill helped him upgrade his core to rank D.
A golden chime rings out as Kim Ho looks at the academy exterior, planning his next move.
Walking through the corridor, the black-haired boy carries the glowing green cube while thinking of the Nature Guild. He identifies Park Nari, a druid walking past with a small tiger cub perched on her shoulder. Sensing the powerful life energy, the tiger cub becomes visibly excited and fixated on the cube.
The cub leaps toward the container, surprising the green-haired girl, while Kim Ho watches his plan unfold.
Park Nari apologizes profusely as the cub settles happily inside the glowing vine-covered cube.
The druid girl stares in shock, sensing the immense life energy radiating from the object.
Kim Ho asks her to take her pet back, claiming he is in a hurry to move on.
The green-haired girl asks if he is a student of Class 3 while the cub whimpers in her arms.
As she leaves, Kim Ho smiles, certain that news of his creation will secure him a season pass. In a large lecture hall, the elderly teacher instructs her students to follow along in their textbooks.
Kim Ho watches the clock, noting that there are only 59 seconds remaining.
A heavy thud sounds as the teacher closes her book with only 32 seconds left on the timer.
Stretching in relief as class ends, a student is suddenly interrupted by a strange red glow.
A crackling red orb appears in the middle of the room, causing confusion among the students. A sharp scream echoes through the hall as the orb releases a sudden pulse of red energy.
A cry of pain rings out as the energy wave sweeps across the entire classroom.
To their surprise, the students realize they haven't suffered any actual harm from the pulse.
A red numeral appears on a boy's forehead, making him wonder if the orb was a barrier or a sensor. Students point at one another in confusion as identical red marks manifest on their foreheads.
The red orb hums with static energy, its surface shimmering with a complex hexagonal grid.
A system notification explains that a ban wave is targeting students who are carrying restricted items.
A thunderous boom echoes nearby, which Kim Ho identifies as the work of the inspector Jo Byuk.
Kim Ho observes that the girls next to him were never at risk of being caught by the inspection.
Panicked, the brown-haired boy grits his teeth as a red mark appears on his own forehead.
Kim Ho asks the boy if his club president warned him about the possibility of an inspection.
Distraught, the brown-haired boy fears he is in trouble because of the forbidden items in his inventory.
Looking toward his friend, Kim Ho asks if he needs any assistance with his situation.
Desperate to avoid detection, the brown-haired boy begs for help and promises to do anything. With a clever smile, Kim Ho tells him that he will now owe him a significant favor. A firm thud sounds as Kim Ho places the vine-covered cube on the floor to use as storage.
Crouched under the desk, the brown-haired boy asks what will happen to his items once they are inside.
As the sounds of the inspectors draw closer, the boy hurries to hide his banned goods inside the cube. A sudden, sharp crackle of blue electricity fills the air as student inspectors burst in, commanding everyone to freeze while students cry out in alarm.
The red-haired inspector confronts Go Hyun-woo and Kim Ho, demanding to know why they are hiding under their desk.
Go Hyun-woo nervously tries to play it off as a simple rest, but the red-haired girl sternly orders them to hand over their forbidden items.
Holding up a glowing blue orb, the inspector tells them to turn themselves in, claiming the crystal's detection power is absolute. Kim Ho watches in silence as the crystal remains dull, much to the red-haired girl's stunned disbelief.
Noting the lack of a reaction, Kim Ho calmly asks if they can go, and the frustrated inspector tells him to return to his seat.
As Kim Ho walks away with a subtle smile, a thunderous boom echoes nearby as he reflects on finishing his task before Friday.
Go Hyun-woo gazes at a discarded ring while narration emphasizes that an item capable of evading detection is of immense value. Outside at night, a rhythmic clicking of footsteps sounds as Go Hyun-woo thanks Kim Ho for saving his items and his future.
Kim Ho tells his friend to consider the help a debt to be repaid later, which the brown-haired boy gratefully accepts. Kim Ho suggests they head to the clubroom to unlock the forbidden items, and Go Hyun-woo notes the president is waiting.
Narration introduces the Thieves Club, an organization known for illegal trading and causing constant chaos at the academy.
Their arrival at the clubroom is marked by a sudden, heavy thud as the brown-haired boy is kicked through the door by his sister. A series of dull thuds sound as the black-haired girl relentlessly pummels Go Hyun-woo on the floor for slacking off. Unfazed by the violence, Kim Ho politely introduces himself to the senior student.
Stepping firmly on her groaning brother, the black-haired girl introduces herself as Dang Gyu-young, the club president.
Dang Gyu-young delivers another sharp kick while expressing her desire to see the item that supposedly evades the bandwave.
Inside the room, the club president stares at the glowing vine-covered cube on the table, admitting it is an impressive sight.
Overcome by greed, Dang Gyu-young half jokes about stealing the incredible artifact for herself on the spot.
Kim Ho warns she'd be caught.
When Kim Ho mentions the built-in anti-theft systems of Magitech, Dang Gyu-young is shocked to learn the cube's true nature. Leaning back in her chair, the president asks Kim Ho directly what he wants in exchange for his help.
She admits the club is currently broke, meaning they have very little to offer him as payment. Kim Ho reassures her that his request is something she is more than capable of handling, prompting her to listen.
Kim Ho reveals his storage plan.
Tense silence follows his bold request.
Narration explains that the temporary storage is where confiscated items are held before being permanently destroyed. It further details that items are verified over the weekend before vanishing into an untraceable storage location.
She suspects a hidden academy trap. Kim Ho denies any hidden agenda.
She refuses to give free rides.
Danger lurks within the storage facility. Kim Ho offers his escape services.
She devises a smuggling strategy.
Kim Ho asks for her final decision, certain that she won't be able to refuse his offer.
Figures overlook the moonlit academy buildings.
The masked president checks her team.
The masked thieves confirm their readiness but question the presence of the new student in their ranks.
Dang Gyu-young introduces Kim Ho as an additional recruit brought in specifically to help with the operation. Despite the grumbling from the other thieves about bringing a rookie, Go Hyun-woo welcomes his friend to the team. A quick clatter sounds as Davin checks her tablet. announcing they have only 1 minute remaining. Dang Yu-young gives Kim Ho a final warning to stay low and focus on retrieving small, rare items first. Dark mist gathers at their feet. The group of masked thieves sprints across the grass toward their target, their movements swift and silent. Kim Ho identifies their silent technique. Reaching out as they run, Kim Ho activates his copy skill to successfully replicate the silent steps ability from the president. Near the buildings, a long-haired man in an inspector's uniform hums a cheerful tune as he walks his patrol. He is startled by purple butterflies. Dark energy erupts around the man.
The inspector lies defeated and bound. A soft footstep sounds on the 3rd floor of the old building as the intruder complains about the excessive layers of security spells protecting the area.
A startled guard in a suit shouts to ask who is there, causing the brown-haired boy to curse his terrible timing. Realizing the situation, the guard shouts about an intruder while raising a glowing staff. Muffled groans sound as 2 masked thieves use shadow bindings to completely restrain the guard. Kim Ho tells the guard to take the easy way, since struggling only makes things worse, while the captive lets out a muffled cry. Pointing ahead, Dang Yu-young says the temporary storage room is just around the corner and orders the team to check the situation before breaching. The black-haired girl watches her glowing orc. Dang Yu-young is frustrated to see a formidable guard on duty, noting he is far too much for her to handle alone. Kim Ho recognizes the guard as a 3rd year wielding the A-rank Hellcleaver axe and decides he must intervene to help the president. Leaning in, Kim Ho asks the senior if she knows how to use the Shadow Dream skill, leaving her shocked that he knows about her ability. The black-haired girl admits she has only learned the basics of the skill, which remains at rank C. Kim Ho claims that is good enough as he uses his Amplify skill to boost her Shadow Dream ability to rank A for a limited duration. Stunned by the sudden power boost, Dang Yu-young asks how he performed such a feat, but Kim Ho insists they move immediately. The black-haired girl wonders who the guy is. Activating her boosted power, Dang Yu-young casts Shadow Dream, summoning a swarm of glowing purple butterflies. Confronted by the magic, the axe-wielding guard realizes he is facing a suction-type ability. A sharp swoosh sounds as the guard swings his massive weapon in a desperate attempt to clear the butterflies from his path. A cry of pain rings out as the guard is overwhelmed by the magical energy. A massive purple energy burst erupts. The magical force continues to swell. Dang Yu-young is amazed that the powerful axe brute was defeated in a single blow, recognizing the attack as having A-rank firepower. The president tells Kim Ho they will need to talk later, but the black-haired boy insists they finish the mission first. Heavy sliding sounds echo as Dang Yu-young orders the group to grab everything they need and move out, while the twins agree. Kim Ho smiles behind his mask, deciding it is time to do some shopping of his own with his vine-covered cube. Kim Ho reflects on how the academy only bans items with side effects that damage the body or mind. He identifies a shock stone with a paralysis penalty, but plans to use his S-rank elemental resistance to nullify the negative effects. Satisfied with his items, Kim Ho turns his attention toward finding powerful skill books that carry elemental penalties. Kim Ho searches through a stack of ancient volumes, hoping to find something useful. Celebrating a lucky find, the black-haired boy decides to learn a new combat skill on the spot. A voice interrupts the thieves, asking if they are working hard late at night as a green-haired man stands in the doorway. Song Chung-ki enters the room and mocks Dang Yu-young for starting the semester with another theft. Dang Yu-young asks what brings the council president to do hall monitor work while worrying about the arrival of Guak Sung-jae and Sung Chin-ki. Song Chun-ki orders the intruders to disarm themselves and come quietly to the disciplinary room. Fearing things will only get worse, the black-haired girl prepares a desperate maneuver. Dang Yu-young commands her team to split up and escape as dark energy gathers around her. A notification announces the creation of a Shadow Haven dome to conceal the allies as they scatter.
The shadow barrier vanishes. Guak Sung-jae checks his blue tracking crystal and tells the president the intruders have fled, ordering that none be allowed to escape.
Kim Ho sprints down the corridor. The black-haired boy is caught off guard as a massive stone fist lunges at him. A stone fist smashes the wall. Guak Sung-jae compliments his moves and asks if he is a freshman, while Kim Ho recognizes the discipline committee member.
The green-haired monitor claims to have identified most of the club, but admits he has never seen the masked boy before.
Guak Sung-jae notes the boy's silence is a smart move to hide his identity. Declaring that surrender is no longer an option, the green-haired man causes jagged stone spikes to erupt from the floor.
Kim Ho responds by unleashing a glowing blue electric bird toward his opponent.
Guak Sung-jae recognizes the hummingbird skill and claims it will not be enough to help the intruder.
Electric magic clashes with the stones.
The green-haired man is forced to rely on his defensive spells to avoid being toasted by the lightning. Leaping over his pursuer, Kim Ho taunts the monitor by asking if the display was good for a first year.
Kim Ho stares in disbelief as the situation escalates further.
Narrowly avoiding a strike, Kim Ho remains defiant and warns his opponent that they won't get another shot. Guak Sung-jae prepares to unleash his full power, declaring that it is finally time to end their confrontation.
A surge of green magical energy erupts with immense force.
Dust and debris fill the corridor following a massive impact.
The green-haired monitor glares with intense irritation at the cocky newcomer.
Guak Sung-jae boasts that no one has ever survived his hit before suddenly being overcome by an unexplained intense heat.
Surprised by the display of power, the green-haired man wonders if the masked boy is using a forbidden skill.
Terror fills Guak Sung-jae as he realizes the impossible nature of the skill being performed.
Desperately summoning a threefold stone wall, the monitor curses his luck and realizes only a madman would use such a skill.
Kim Ho readies a punch engulfed in white-hot flames.
Unleashing his Inferno Fist, Kim Ho triggers a massive fire explosion that completely destroys the stone defenses and blows his opponent away.
Examining his hand, Kim Ho reflects on how tricky the skill is to handle and control.
Looking at the defeated monitor, Kim Ho notes that while there are no major injuries, the Emerald Magic Tower and the committee will surely take action.
Finding the situation annoying, Kim Ho scratches his head while remaining confident that they won't be able to uncover his true identity.
Hearing the shouts of approaching guards, Kim Ho realizes he must make a quick escape before he is caught.
The red-haired senior and another guard sprint toward the scene of the loud disturbance.
Sitting in an interrogation chair, Dang Gyu-young demands to be given her demerit points and released immediately.
As a colleague leaves, Oh Se-hoon bids him good work before turning his attention back to the club president.
Smiling, the disciplinary committee head presents a ledger and suggests things will end quickly if she cooperates. Dang Gyu-young is impressed as she reviews the ledger, noting that Kim Ho did an excellent job selecting small and expensive items.
Oh Se-hoon directly asks the girl if she knows why so many items from the storage have mysteriously gone missing.
Firmly denying any knowledge, Dang Gyu-young is warned by Oh Se-hoon that she will have to take responsibility for the losses.
With a resigned sigh, the black-haired girl agrees to take responsibility, admitting she knew this would happen. Waving goodbye, Dang Gyu-young heads out as the committee head reminds her that disciplinary action begins the next day.
Back with the club, Dang Gyu-young's brother asks if she is okay, and she promises to explain the details in the clubroom.
Counting the members present, the president is confused to find only 4 people and wonders where the 5th one went.
The red-haired senior confronts the group, mocking Gyu-young for brazenly pretending to be ignorant of the situation.
Enraged, the senior reveals that a club member used Inferno Fist on Guak Xingjae, sending him to the infirmary.
Dang Yu-young is shocked to hear the brute was defeated, secretly impressed that the new guy actually has such high-level skills.
Checking Kim Ho's perfectly clean hand, Yu-young is bewildered as to how he used Inferno Fist without any signs of burning.
Kim Ho explains he would never use such a dangerous skill without countermeasures, earning a nod of approval from the senior.
Reaching into his storage, Kim Ho presents the vine-covered cube and confirms that all the stolen items are safe.
Overwhelmed by greed, Dang Yu-young sparkles with delight as she admires the beautiful colors of the retrieved gems.
Pouring out the mountain of jewels, Kim Ho declares their deal concluded, while the president celebrates the successful trade. As Kim Ho prepares to leave, Dang Yu-young stops him and asks if he would like to officially join their club. Pointing a finger at him, the black-haired girl promises to treat him well as a senior, prompting Kim Ho to ask if it's a real recruitment offer.
In a chibi-style exchange, Yu-young describes Kim Ho as greedy and arrogant, a perfect thief, which he takes as more of an insult than an offer.
Despite her loud protests, Kim Ho politely declines the invitation to join the club.
Dang Yu-young is shocked when Kim Ho reveals he plans to sell the incredibly valuable Life Cube.
Kim Ho specifies his price as 4 special training room season passes, which the president finds incredibly expensive just to avoid a ban wave. Explaining further, Kim Ho mentions that the ban evasion is just a side effect, and the cube has a much more powerful primary ability. Dang Yu-young glares suspiciously, but agrees to grant his request if he shows her the item's true description. Kim Ho proudly displays the completed 10 by 10 by 10 cube he created as a freshman. Reading the description of the B-rank Life Cube, Yu-young is stunned to learn it increases the effect of stored items by 30%. Turning to leave, Kim Ho notes the price is justified, while the president is left speechless by the existence of such an artifact. As Kim Ho walks away, Dang Yu-young calls out that her offer to join the club remains valid, even without the cube.
The black-haired girl smiles confidently, telling him to think over her proposal very carefully.
Walking to class on Monday, Kim Ho asks the silver-haired girl if she rested well over the weekend. Noting her exhaustion, Kim Ho questions if she actually rested, wondering what she will do if she is this tired so early in the week. Kim Ho notices 2 students in uniforms tailing him and wonders if the Emerald Magic Tower or the Great Nature Club are finally making their move. Noticing the presence of their pursuers, the black-haired boy tells the exhausted silver-haired girl to head to class without him. Kim Ho turns back with a determined look, stating that he has some quick business to attend to. So Ye-in glances at the followers and quietly agrees to go on ahead. Stopping in his tracks, Kim Ho turns to face the 2 students directly and demands they state their business instead of following him.
The green-haired boy smirks, identifying themselves as members of the Emerald Magic Tower and thanking him for saving them the trouble of a chase.
Laughing nervously, the blue-haired girl asks if Kim Ho would be willing to come with them as their captain requested. Kim Ho flatly refuses, stating he has no affiliation with their group and that their captain should have approached him personally.
Tightening his glove, the green-haired boy scoffs and claims that some people only understand a message after a physical confrontation.
Smirking back, Kim Ho agrees with the sentiment and prepares to unleash his magic. A sudden discharge of electricity rings out as Kim Ho strikes his opponent. The green-haired boy collapses in a heap while his partner stands over him in total shock, recognizing the hummingbird skill. Electricity continues to crackle around Kim Ho's hand as he tells them to attack quickly because he is short on time. Terrified by his overwhelming skill, the blue-haired girl waves her hands frantically and apologizes for the bother, deciding it is best to retreat. As Kim Ho walks away, he notes that at least one of them is smart enough to assess the situation properly. The green-haired boy rages about his humiliation until a mysterious green projectile suddenly snipes him.
Panic fills the blue-haired girl as she wonders where the attack came from. A second projectile strikes the girl's forehead, leaving her bewildered as to why she was also targeted. Both intruders are left defeated on the ground as the scene shifts. Back in class, a confused Kim Ho asks the tired Seo Yi-en why she arrived later than him even though she left first. The instructor explains the rules of the practice mode for the upcoming dungeon raid, emphasizing the 5-minute time limit. A brown-haired student invites a classmate to tackle the 2-person dungeon together. Encouraging the pair to go together, Kim Ho tells them not to mind him, and the girl agrees to give it a shot. Watching them leave, Kim Ho reflects on how his own path for the mission has already been decided. So Ye-in looks up with a quiet, blank expression. In a dark room, the green-haired boy is held captive by massive wooden branches, groaning about his disgrace. A man with short hair scolds the boy for tarnishing their group's reputation by losing to a mere thief. The blue-haired girl kneels in fear as their leader expresses disbelief that such a supposed coward defeated them. The green-haired boy falls to the floor as his leader continues to mock his pathetic performance. A blue-haired girl with a braid suggests they need to meet this newcomer personally. Official titles identify Ha Soo-yun and Mok Jong-hwa as the leaders of the Great Nature Club and the Emerald Magic Tower, both frustrated by their loss of prestige. Mok Jong-hwa glares intensely, vowing that the intruder will pay for disrespecting their organization. On the floor, the green-haired boy begs for another chance to prove himself, but he is met with cold dismissal. Desperate, the boy insists he was merely caught off guard and pleads for one more shot. Mok Jong-hwa offers him a final chance, warning that another failure will result in his immediate expulsion from the club. Clenching his fist, the green-haired boy shouts his confidence and acceptance of the terms. Their leader promises to lend him a powerful golem to ensure an overwhelming victory as the boy bows in gratitude. Entering the practice mode of the Goblin Swamp, Kim Ho advises Seo Ye-in that there is no need to rush. A system notification displays the details of his subquest, and Kim Ho determines he must clear the dungeon in under a minute for the top rewards. As goblins appear, the black-haired boy remains confident about the solo challenge, but worries about the duo dungeon's dynamics. Kim Ho watches Seo Yi-in fight, deciding not to reveal the enemy patterns so she can grow as a warrior. He resolves to let her learn through trial and error during their practice run. A massive submerged goblin appears, identified by the system as a strong enemy. A sharp slide sounds as Kim Ho shifts his stance. Kim Ho asks his partner if she wants to avoid the boss or try to defeat it, and she asks if she will earn points for the kill. After hearing the boss is worth 120 points, Seo Yi-in readies her guns with renewed determination. Leaping into action, Kim Ho unleashes his electric hummingbird to support the girl's attack. The magical strike hits the towering monster with great force. The goblin groans in pain as Seo Ye-in takes aim. A bright flash erupts as the finishing blow connects with the boss's head. A green goblin roars with red eyes. The monster swings a massive blade downward. Seo Ye-in aims her rifle as the goblin lunges at her. The silver-haired girl stays focused despite the danger. Kim Ho upgrades Hummingbird to rank C and launches Blue Energy Bird. A final shot secures the victory with 649 points. Kim Ho notes they cut down their time and suggests they could go even faster. Seo Ye-in asks for another special lecture regarding magic bullets. Kim Ho realizes her pride was hurt, fueling her competitive spirit. They decide to head to the training center to continue their practice. At the shooting range, Kim Ho introduces a skill called ejection. He explains that she is currently treating her gear merely as tools. Manifesting a magic bullet, he tells her to imagine her hand is the gun. A sharp snap sounds as Kim Ho explains how to release mana with a flick. He asks the silver-haired girl to try the technique with her hand first. Teal mana gathers at her fingertips as she concentrates. In a comical failure,
The mana flies backward with a dull thud. He suggests practicing by simply sending mana flying forward without bullets.
Kim Ho heads out to grab some dinner while she practices. A sudden swish sounds as the girl stops him to offer something.
Surprised by the luxury card, he marvels at the rich young lady's status.
Kim Ho orders at a bakery while nearby students chat.
One girl waves while her orange-haired companion stares in shock. The orange-haired girl is visibly annoyed by his presence. Standing up, she demands he stop for a moment to confirm something. She firmly catches his hand and demands to inspect it.
Her thoughts reveal she is searching for the storage thief using Hummingbird.
She looks for telltale burn marks from the Inferno Fist skill.
Kim Ho is surprised by the reading while she thinks he's flustered.
She is baffled by his clean and uninjured hand.
Grabbing his other hand, the girl finds no signs of any burns. Kim Ho asks how long he must keep holding this pose.
Apologizing for the intrusion, she turns away with a quick swish. He playfully asks for his palm reading results regarding his love life.
She angrily predicts a very difficult and hard future for him. Kim Ho reflects on their search for the storage thief.
They prepare to enter separate portals back at the dungeon site.
Kim Ho readies his dual firearms as they start their run. Rapid gunfire erupts, clearing the waves of dungeon monsters. They coordinate their magical attacks with precision and overwhelming power. The boss monster shatters with a shriek, yielding 120 points. A sharp clap celebrates their new high score of 728 points.
Kim Ho praises their perfect coordination during the actual battle.
The silver-haired girl offers a rare and gentle smile. He instructs her to practice solo before the final challenge. Kim Ho enters the solo portal to focus on his own quests. He decides to finish the task with great speed. His fist ignites with roaring flames as he readies an attack. A massive fire explosion incinerates everything in the dungeon. Kim Ho walks away through the smoldering wreckage and destruction.
The black-haired boy reviews his dungeon performance, deciding to delete the replay to hide his overwhelming power.
A system notification confirms the subquest is complete, granting him the highest grade rewards for his exceptional clear time. Reviewing the reward options, Kim Ho chooses the Blessing of the West Wind to enhance his capabilities as an all-rounder supporter.
A swirl of teal mana gathers in the boy's palm as he successfully acquires the new trait skill.
Stepping out of the portal, Kim Ho is immediately intercepted by a man who calls out his name. Mok Jung-hwa and Ha Soo-yeon introduce themselves as leaders of their respective organizations and request a private conversation. A quick clink sounds as the blue-haired girl bows her head, apologizing for her previous group's rude behavior. Seated at a cafe, the black-haired boy correctly guesses they have come to see his special item. With a confident smile, Kim Ho manifests a glowing green cube artifact for the visitors to inspect.
A sudden, energetic thud sounds as the small tiger cub, Bium, leaps from its owner's shoulder directly into the artifact.
The visitors are stunned as the cub quickly settles into a comfortable sleep inside the cube's mana field.
Sensing the intense energy, the blue-haired girl identifies it as a powerful life-type artifact and asks to see its description.
Kim Ho agrees to share the details after the group promises to keep the information confidential. The leaders are speechless upon seeing the item provides a massive 30% performance boost for life-type items.
Ha Soo-yeon asks if he is willing to sell the cube, but the black-haired boy remains non-committal.
Mok Jung-hwa grows impatient, demanding the boy hand over the item so its value isn't wasted. Thinking carefully, Kim Ho admits that while he understands their perspective, he is still hesitant to part with it.
The blue-haired girl becomes proactive, promising they will do their best to meet any price he sets.
Kim Ho holds up 4 fingers, requesting 4 special engineering room season passes, or their equivalent value. Both leaders are visibly shaken when the boy adds that he specifically wants a blank skill book as part of the deal. A loud bang rings out as the short-haired man slams the table in protest, prompting Kim Ho to cancel the deal entirely.
A sudden, firm grip sounds as Kim Ho stands to leave, only to be stopped by the leaders. The green-haired girl, Nari, intervenes by revealing she has an unused blank skill book in her possession.
Nari explains she hasn't thought of a suitable skill yet and is willing to trade it rather than let it sit in her inventory.
The tiger cub lets out a happy meow while resting against the black-haired boy. Relieved, Ha Soo-yeon thanks her teammate and gives the green light to proceed with the exchange.
A series of quick swishes sound as the group finalizes the trade, exchanging the cube for the skill book and a season pass.
While Kim Ho celebrates a good trade, the green-haired boy from the earlier confrontation suddenly challenges him to a duel. The black-haired boy gives a flat rejection, leaving the challenger and his companions completely bewildered.
Clenching his fist with a loud snap, the green-haired boy argues that a duel is a matter of honor.
Kim Ho mocks the boy's sense of honor, pointing out how he previously chose to gang up on him.
Dismissing the challenge again, Kim Ho tells the boy to just brag about a victory and leave him alone.
A quick swish sounds as Mok Jung-hwa pulls out a production VIP ticket, offering it as a prize to make the match worthwhile.
Kim Ho's expression immediately brightens as he accepts the challenge now that a valuable prize is involved.
The green-haired boy is confused when Kim Ho insists on scheduling the duel for 2 days from now. Holding up his new prize, the black-haired boy explains he needs the time to master the skill book first.
Mok Jung-hwa laughs mockingly, finding the idea of mastering a skill in just 2 days to be absurd.
Kim Ho merely smirks, telling the man he can look forward to seeing the results.
The scene shifts to the Grand Academy Arena 2 days later for the scheduled match.
In the stands, students discuss why Kim Ho would accept a duel against someone as tricky as Mok Jung-hwa.
A brown-haired student suggests the boy must have a winning strategy, though the black-haired girl beside him feels something is off.
Standing at opposite ends of the Colosseum, the two combatants prepare to begin their battle.
Mok Jung-hwa asks if the boy agrees to have the duel recorded as a replay for public viewing. The two rivals lock eyes as they both formally agree to the terms of the match. A series of swish sounds ring out as magical circles form beneath both fighters, transporting them into the arena.
A system window displays the map as the Dark Zone, with a 10-minute deathmatch time limit.
The match begins. The green-haired boy lunges forward, shouting that luck won't save Kim Ho this time. A sudden swish sounds as Kim Ho calmly activates a new skill called Earth Gatling, catching his opponent off guard. A heavy thud echoes as the challenger is sent tumbling across the sand while Kim Ho mocks his failed display of power. Standing over his downed opponent, Kim Ho mocks the green-haired boy's weak performance.
Infuriated, Kwok Ji-chul stands up and activates a skill called Earth Cluster to form a massive boulder.
A fierce shout sounds as the green-haired boy hurls the giant rock directly at the black-haired boy.
Kim Ho remains perfectly still and unbothered as the massive projectile closes in on him.
Gathering teal mana at his fingertips, Kim Ho prepares to flick his hand to intercept the attack.
Seeing the familiar movement, the green-haired boy is stunned that his rival is attempting the same trick again. A pained scream sounds as a thunderous explosion rocks the arena, shattering the boulder into debris. Sent reeling by the impact, Kwok Ji-chul gasps in pain while struggling to stay upright. Gritting his teeth, the green-haired boy admits his opponent's courage and prepares to unleash a desperate final move. Slamming his palms into the dirt, he shouts that the victory will be his regardless of the cost. A towering wood golem rises from the ground, described as an ancient tree brought to life by forest magic. A moment of transition occurs as the scene shifts toward a more intense phase of the battle.
Time passes as the duel enters its most critical stage, drawing everyone's attention.
The tree golem stands tall, its massive wooden form infused with the crushing power of the forest. From the stands, the black-haired girl shouts that their behavior is wrong and calls them heartless punks. Watching with concern, the green-haired man with glasses questions how a third-year golem could be used in this duel. The brown-haired student with shaved sides hopes they wouldn't use a golem, though his companion thinks crushing it won't hurt.
Ha Soo-yeon worries that Kim Ho cannot risk using his Inferno Fist skill with so many witnesses present.
Kwak Ji-chol laughs mockingly, telling the black-haired boy to say goodbye to his winning streak. Flashback to 2 days ago shows Kim Ho in the Mana training room, researching the most useful types of supporters. He reflects on how supporters take many forms, including healers, buffers, and debuffers, depending on the situation. With a confident smile, Kim Ho concludes that for an all-rounder, there is no better skill than the one he found.
Back in the present, the green-haired boy orders his golem to crush Kim Ho in a single massive blow. Kim Ho nimbly leaps onto the golem's arm, using its own momentum to propel himself toward its head.
Focusing on his goal of wind-type support, a bright teal energy begins to swirl around his foot. Kim Ho declares that this wind skill is the most optimal ability to replicate from a blank spellbook. Reaching the golem's face, the black-haired boy prepares to deliver a finishing strike with his new power. A savage roar sounds as a violent explosion shatters the monster's head, sending splinters flying across the arena. The scoreboard confirms Kim Ho's victory, while he expresses how satisfying it felt to win the match. Grinding his teeth in frustration, the brown-haired man with shaved sides is stunned that Kim Ho defeated the golem. Fulfilling the wager, the leader hands over the VIP production ticket, as promised, to a calm Kim Ho. Holding his prize, Kim Ho suggests they keep the replay footage private, noting it won't hurt their side either. Surprised by the proposal, the man calls Kim Ho a merchant and asks what he wants in exchange for the secrecy. Kim Ho asks for a simple favor to be repaid later, which the brown-haired student accepts to finalize the deal. As the defeated group limps away, Kim Ho reflects on how he actually prefers to keep the replay private. Manifesting a swirling vortex of teal mana, he notes that the slower the news of his wind force skill spreads, the better. Turning to greet his waiting allies, Kim Ho notices his silver-haired teammate and their companions approaching. The sudden, quick swish sounds as Kim Ho offers the season pass, leaving his companions shocked by his speed. Kim Ho explains he got the pass while the black-haired girl teases him for his knack for milking profit.
Ha Soo-yeon reminds him about the favor he asked and mentions the Magic Engineering Club.
She waves while confirming the club asked to meet him soon, making Kim Ho consider his next move. A sharp, satisfied grin sounds as Kim Ho decides to head to the workshop immediately to see them. Entering Magic Engineering Workshop Number 1, Kim Ho is impressed by its luxurious atmosphere compared to other workshops.
A student in a white lab coat turns around, asking if he is indeed the student named Kim Ho.
Bong Jae-sok, the club head, introduces himself and mentions he already heard the details from Dang Yu-young. A quick, heavy thud sounds as the older student walks briskly toward the clubroom, urging Kim Ho to follow. Seated at a desk, the club head asks for confirmation regarding the completion of the complex 10x10 cube. Bong Jae-sok asserts that the design belongs to his club, but offers to avoid drama if Kim Ho cooperates. Kim Ho calmly explains that he no longer has the artifact, shocking the older boy who demands to know where it is.
Kim Ho claims he let nature take care of it, causing Bong Jae-sok to stand up in a fury and end the meeting.
Kim Ho surprises the senior by asking if he really expected him to come empty-handed. Bong Jae-sok is completely shocked to find the 10x10x10 cube blueprint in his hands. A sudden, heavy thud sounds as the senior realizes the blueprint ends abruptly in the middle. Kim Ho smirks while explaining that he has kept the rest of the blueprint safely hidden. Raising a finger with a sharp snap, Kim Ho requests midnight access to the workshop's equipment. A quick swish sounds as they finalize the deal, and the senior demands the rest. Kim Ho politely declines the senior's invitation to join the Magic Engineering Club. The senior tells him to use workshop scraps while requesting more blueprints in the future. A series of steady thuds sound as Kim Ho thanks his senior and heads out.
Sitting in a silent room, Kim Ho celebrates completing the groundwork for his new weapon.
Dang Gyu Young asks the brown-haired senior to reconsider his decision to withdraw from their group. Kwak Ji Chel argues that Kim Ho's victory tarnished the Emerald Group's reputation and honor.
The green-haired boy admits his sibling was at fault, but continues to plead his case. A sudden, sharp gasp sounds as the boy asks if they are sure he fought alone.
Infuriated, the senior asks if the disciplinary committee is interfering with his group's affairs.
Dang Gyu Young remains composed while stating he is simply asking for a fair judgment. The senior sighs before asking the green-haired boy what he actually wants from him.
A moment of tense silence occurs as the senior grants a 2-month period for observation. Dang Gyu Young bows respectfully while agreeing that 2 months is more than enough time. A series of heavy thuds sound as the senior walks away without another word.
The green-haired boy stands alone in the empty, silent hallway.
A sudden, sharp gasp sounds as the boy notices Song Chun-hae hiding nearby.
Dang Gyu Young tells the orange-haired girl that her stealth skills are lacking in quality.
Song Chun-hae asks if the green-haired boy could defeat Kim Ho in a direct battle.
The orange-haired girl looks contemplative while admitting she cannot say for sure.
She confirms that a thorough examination revealed no scratches on the black-haired boy's hands. Dang Gyu Young reflects on how impossible a fast recovery would be after using Inferno Fist. A sense of lingering doubt fills the boy's mind as he thinks. He struggles to believe that the arrogant masked fighter and the quiet student are different people. Dang Gyu Young apologizes and asks the girl to continue monitoring the situation for him. Song Chun-hae smiles while agreeing to keep working because she is genuinely interested.
An instructor explains the rules for an upcoming 2 versus 2 deathmatch training session.
A series of quick pings sound as he announces a new mentoring program for students.
A system window displays a notification confirming that Kim Ho has already signed up.
Kim Ho explains that he wants the chance to learn from top-ranking seniors and graduates.
Inspired by his logic, the black-haired girl decides to sign up for mentoring too.
Se-Ye-in wakes up from her nap while complaining about the annoying mentoring program. Kim Ho ponders how to persuade the silver-haired girl to participate in her own growth.
A sudden, sharp gasp sounds as the black-haired girl asks Kim Ho to partner up.
Se-Yin blinks sleepily while asking if she can team up with Kim Ho as well. The black-haired girl suggests they each do 1 match since there are 2 scheduled. A sudden, quick thud sounds as she stands up to begin her training for tomorrow. A new day dawns over the Grand Academy buildings. A series of steady thuds sound as the black-haired girl apologizes for keeping him waiting.
Kim Ho notices that her aura has become even sharper than it was yesterday.
A bright blue glow sounds as he realizes her core has already reached C rank.
Kim Ho admits that they won their previous match, but his expression remains troubled.
A thunderous boom sounds as a violent explosion of fire rocks the arena floor.
Kim Ho describes their opponent as a rising star from the Ruby Magic Tower.
A series of quick pings sound as system windows show their teammates' health rapidly declining. Amidst a swirling inferno, the silver-haired girl prepares for combat, while a system notification notes that Se-Yin has absolutely no defensive capabilities. A sudden, heavy thud sounds as the black-haired boy swings his wooden staff against multiple opponents during the chaotic training session. Gathering a swirling vortex of teal mana in his palm, Kim Ho prepares to strike while a sudden, sharp gasp sounds at the sight of his power. The red-haired girl stares in complete shock as a thick wooden vine suddenly lashes out toward her face.
Kim Ho stands ready with his gnarled wooden staff as teal sparks of energy dance through the air around him.
A system window displays the matchmaking process, while the black-haired boy reflects on how he managed to finish his preparations and suggest the mentoring program. While they watch the matchmaking screen, Kim Ho notes that she didn't seem interested, and Han Soo-yeon laughingly replies that a lot has happened. The black-haired boy sighs while stating that the kid needs to be beaten by someone at least once, prompting his companion to call that a bit of harsh judgment. The two teammates stand ready in a vast, sun-drenched rocky arena to begin their training match. Looking surprised by their opponents, the black-haired girl asks what on earth is happening in this situation. A system window reveals they are facing a team composed of Jang Sam and So Ye-in, making the black-haired student realize they are up against the silver-haired girl. With a confident smirk, Kim Ho thinks that this is perfect because it is a chance to make Seo Yi-in realize on her own that her defense is weak. When the black-haired girl asks if they are going to win, Kim Ho replies with a certain, "Of course." As the match starts, the two students charge forward while Han Soo-yeon declares she will take care of Seo Ye-in, and her partner agrees. Seeing the silver-haired girl deploy a tactical distraction, the black-haired girl notes that she threw a smoke bomb just as expected. Leaping through the haze, the black-haired boy tells his opponents that their trick is useless. Seo Yi-in stands her ground, aiming a pair of sleek pistols toward her approaching foes. Kim Ho descends from the air with a powerful downward swing of his staff. Quickly switching weapons, the silver-haired girl levels a large rifle directly at the boy's head. A sharp, metallic clang sounds as Kim Ho uses his wooden staff to parry the long barrel of the rifle. With a determined grin, the black-haired boy pulls back his fist as teal energy swirls violently around it. A sudden, quick swish sounds as Kim Ho stops his punch just inches from Seo Yi-in's face, leaving her paralyzed with fear. A sharp, playful flick sounds as the silver-haired girl cries out in pain from the sudden strike to her forehead. Standing over the kneeling girl, Kim Ho asks how she feels and if they should keep going. Looking frustrated and defeated, Seo Yi-in forfeits the match, while Kim Ho observes that her pride seems to have taken quite a hit. Turning his attention toward the other fight, Kim Ho decides it is time to have a look at the battle on the other side. As the swordsmen clash, Kim Ho recalls a tip that there is one more hidden prospect on the Guild Alliance's side. Focusing on the opponent's technique, Kim Ho observes the unnatural movement of his right hand and thinks it was strange from the beginning. Intervening in the duel, Kim Ho shouts for both of them to stop immediately.
Kim Ho offers to keep the replay private if the long-haired man is worried and suggests he can provide a little extra motivation.
Shocking the swordsman, Kim Ho mentions the name Ghostly Shadow and promises to give him that information if he wins the match. The long-haired student asks in disbelief how the boy knows about that hidden piece. Calmly resting his staff on his shoulder, Kim Ho repeats that he will only give up the information if the man wins. Accepting the high stakes, the long-haired man resolves to do as the boy wishes and prepares his blade. Seeing the shift in his intensity, Han Soo-yeon notes that his gaze has changed and decides she will go all out as well. A sudden, sharp gasp sounds as the swordsman launches a high-speed strike that catches Han Soo-yeon off guard. Han Soo-yeon grunts in pain as she struggles to block the attack, while a system window shows Go Hyun-woo's health at 87%. The two clash again in a flurry of sparks, with the black-haired girl shouting that it's not over yet, while her health drops to 73%. Gasping for breath, Han Soo-yeon continues to fight as the intense pressure from her opponent's blade brings her health down to 68%. The long-haired swordsman glares with intense focus while declaring that he will end the match with his next strike. A violent, sharp swish sounds as a purple-tinged energy blade cuts through the air toward the black-haired girl. With a menacing gaze, the man repeats that his final attack will finish the fight once and for all. A sudden, heavy thud sounds as the energy-infused blade makes contact with Han Soo-yeon's guard. The two fighters pass each other in a blur of motion as their swords cross one last time in the middle of the arena. Unleashing a torrent of blue mana, the swordsman calls out his rapid current technique to overwhelm his opponent. The man skids across the desert sand as the shockwave from the clash settles over the battlefield.
Resheathing her glowing blue blade, Han Soo-yeon stands low to the ground in a finished stance.
Pieces of shattered metal fall into the sand as the two warriors turn away from each other in the silent arena. Walking toward them, Kim Ho tells them that's enough and decides the duel is over. A swirling aura of teal energy surrounds Kim Ho's hand as he tells both of them to rest now. The scoreboard confirms a victory for Kim Ho and his partner.
Looking over his fallen opponent, the black-haired boy admits that while they won by the rules, he feels like they lost the contest based on the man's true skill.
The black-haired boy notes that the man's current technique is still slightly lacking for now. The long-haired swordsman lies defeated on the sandy arena floor. A sudden, sharp swish sounds as Go Hyun-woo looks at the scoreboard and accepts his total loss.
A sudden, quick sit sounds as the man rises while Kim Ho encourages him by calling it a good match. Resting a hand on the man's shoulder, the black-haired boy is asked if his hidden techniques were too obvious to spot.
The black-haired boy explains that the man's grip on his weapon appeared quite awkward during their clash.
He adds that looking too ordinary in a place filled with elites actually made the man stand out even more.
Kim Ho explains that in an academy of the world's strongest, being plain is the most noticeable trait of all.
A sharp, respectful thud sounds as the man bows while thanking Kim Ho and mentioning the ghost shadow step. A low, steady hum sounds as the long-haired man expresses his deep shame for showing such disgrace in battle.
Han Soo-yeon asks the black-haired boy for his opinion on how she finished the duel with her final move.
A sharp metallic clack sounds as the black-haired girl expresses concern about the durability of her sword.
When the boy suggests getting a superior weapon, the girl cries while admitting her financial situation is currently terrible.
The black-haired boy holds up a digital tablet and asks exactly how many points she has saved up. A sudden, quick swish sounds as she reveals a total of 5,000 points on her digital screen. A series of quick pings sound as Kim Ho selects 2 longswords and several thermal catalyst reagents from the shop. He explains that the reagents are for crafting a useful item as he prepares to receive the materials. That evening, the black-haired boy walks toward the 4th workshop to begin his crafting work. A sudden, quick slide sounds as he enters and finds a gray-haired senior student wearing safety goggles. Kim Ho reflects on how the senior previously scolded his meddling, but proceeds to look around the room. A sudden, sharp ping sounds as he uses his copy skill to register the senior's rank B engineering ability. The black-haired boy scans the cluttered workspace, noting it is the perfect place to get quality materials. He observes that even failed projects contain many perfectly intact crafted components ready for reuse. A sudden, heavy thud sounds as he grabs a part, noting his specialized dismantling method is superior to buying new. The gray-haired student watches the boy's work with a nervous glance from across the room. A low, steady hiss sounds as the senior asks what is being made, only to hear the boy is simply dismantling for scrap. A sudden, quick glide sounds as the senior asks to watch the process and receives permission. The gray-haired student is shocked to see how clean the extracted reagents look after the dismantling. The black-haired boy decides that now is the right time to propose a trade. He offers a material exchange to the senior, who enthusiastically agrees to provide whatever is needed. A sudden, quick swish sounds as Kim Ho lists several high-strength components he requires for his project. The senior wonders if Bong Jae-sok will complain again, but the boy says trading a few items should be fine. A series of quick taps sound as the gray-haired boy decides to send a message to the instructor for permission.
He notes that the message was read, but there has been no reply yet.
A thunderous bang sounds as Bong Jae-sok kicks the door open and surprises everyone inside. A low, steady exhale sounds as the purple-haired man approaches and asks if the boy was the one who dismantled the machine.
Kim Ho opens his system inventory to show the man the successfully dismantled components from the failed projects.
The instructor asks if he can dismantle another costly failure, which the boy notes will take a significant amount of time. The purple-haired man promises to pay him appropriately for the difficult labor.
A low, steady hiss sounds as Kim Ho agrees to the task if he can receive his payment in goods. A sudden, quick slide sounds as the man departs, telling the boy to message him the list of desired materials.
The gray-haired senior asks the boy for one more personal favor while he is at it.
Pointing toward a large piece of machinery, the senior asks if the boy can dismantle it for him. A new morning dawns as the black-haired boy decides to finish the rest of his work after class.
A sudden, quick thud sounds as he walks into the quiet classroom while planning to take a nap before his session.
A series of steady thuds sound as he notices the silver-haired girl is already in the room.
A low, steady hum sounds as he observes So Ye-in sleeping soundly at her desk. A sudden, quick swish sounds as Kim Ho holds out a bag of food, wondering if she missed breakfast again. Seo Yi-in covers her eyes as Kim Ho reflects on their one-sided match and her weaknesses.
Holding a bag of baguettes, the black-haired boy explains that her gunner style is weak when her position is exposed.
Munching on a baguette, the silver-haired girl asks if he will provide her with special training now that her magic bullets are solid.
Kim Ho declines her request, stating she would learn much better from a mentor who is also a gunner.
He urges her to seek out proper mentoring, even if it feels bothersome, and she eventually agrees.
So Ye-in signs up for lessons, while Han Soo-yeon notes it was a good decision for her. Go Hyun-woo expresses his deep gratitude for being in perfect physical condition thanks to Kim Ho's assistance.
The swordsman plans to test the weapons he recently purchased during the remaining duels of the season.
Kim Ho holds up a metallic clip and suggests that the long-haired man use it as well. He explains that although it looks like a simple clip, the item is designed to protect a weapon's durability.
A sudden, sharp clack sounds as Kim Ho attaches the specialized clip to the swordsman's red strap.
A scoreboard displays Go Hyun-woo and Bukgung Han-sol facing off against Jung Soo-ji and Park Nari from the Nature Club.
Go Hyun-woo remains cautious of the promising club member and her dangerous spirit beast.
A low, steady purr sounds as the small tiger spirit beast rests on its master's shoulder.
A sudden, thunderous roar sounds as the small creature transforms into a massive, glowing tiger.
The ferocious beast launches a high-speed pounce directly toward the long-haired swordsman.
Go Hyun-woo shouts for Bukgung Han-sol to begin their counterattack as the tiger closes in.
Focusing her intense gaze, the white-haired girl prepares her powerful palm technique.
A system notification displays the snow soul palm striking the massive beast's head with a frozen impact.
Bukgung Han-sol is sweating as she sees that Park Nari still has 87% of her health remaining. The spirit beast retaliates with a heavy swipe that forces the white-haired girl back.
Go Hyun-woo calls out his partner's name while rushing forward to engage the tiger.
A sudden, loud crack sounds as the man's sword shatters, revealing the painful limits of his E-rank weapon.
The massive beast forces Go Hyun-woo to the ground as it prepares another strike. Bukgung Han-sol retreats, noting that they do not stand a chance against their current opponents at this rate.
Go Hyun-woo identifies that the enemy's strategy is to use the spirit beast as a frontline shield to recover. He observes that while the beast is powerful, the summoner herself is completely defenseless. The two warriors decide to ignore the beast and strike the caster's main body directly. The spirit beast roars as the duo maneuvers around it.
Go Hyun-woo and Bukgung Han-sol launch a coordinated dash toward the unprotected green-haired girl.
Park Nari uses a green gem to activate a Gaia barrier of thick, thorny vines to protect herself. The two attackers strike the massive wall of vines but find it difficult to break through.
A system window announces the activation of Bukgung Hansal's Extreme Ice Snow Soul Palm technique. Combining their strengths, they unleash the Clear Stream and Ice Palm to shatter the opponent's barrier.
Go Hyunwoo prepares a finishing blow, noting the barrier's durability before he strikes. A sudden, deafening roar sounds as the tiger bites down on Bukgung Hansel, forcing a pained scream from the girl. Later at a cafe, Go Hyunwoo watches a replay of his embarrassing loss inside a glowing crystal ball. The swordsman asks Kim Ho what he would have done in that kind of hopeless situation.
Kim Ho explains that the gap in their equipment specifications was simply too severe to overcome with technique alone.
A profile reveals that Park Nari is a rising star fully backed by the items and skills of the Nature Club. Go Hyunwoo admits that hearing about her thorough preparation makes his loss feel completely inevitable.
Kim Ho notes that while matching her specs is impossible, there are still effective countermeasures they can find.
He mentions the Demon Sword, an essential debuff-type item for any top-tier swordsman to possess. The student is amazed, admitting he never even knew such a powerful item existed.
Kim Ho points to the clip on the man's jacket and says the priority is ensuring his weapon doesn't break. Go Hyunwoo realizes that a B-rank item like the Demon Sword will not be easy to obtain. Kim Ho gives a thumbs up and suggests getting it as a drop from the Dungeon Association's underground dungeon.
The long-haired man points out that entering the underground is currently impossible due to the duel season.
The black-haired boy pauses his drink as his junior asks for more information.
Kim Ho explains that freshmen are not allowed in the underground dungeon because it involves real life-or-death combat. Go Hyunwoo asks if entering the underground is currently impossible, to which the black-haired boy replies that it is, at least for the moment, as a sharp metallic clack sounds from his glass. Kim Ho clarifies that it is only officially impossible, making the black-haired girl repeat the word in a state of confusion. Holding up his digital device, the black-haired boy suggests they can simply sneak in and explains that is what the errand service is for. Bukgung Hansol asks if he contacted Shin Byung-chul while looking at a message on the screen requesting a meeting at the second-floor terrace, and the boy confirms he will arrive shortly. Shin Byung-chul arrives at the terrace and asks how he can help, prompting Kim Ho to state that he is trying to gain entry into a dungeon.
The brown-haired boy asks for the dungeon number while Kim Ho notes that a Monday evening slot would be perfect. Shin Byung-chul identifies dungeon number 388 as the D-rank Feathered Serpent Altar, noting it is a 4-person dungeon and asking who will be joining the raid. Kim Ho points to the long-haired swordsman and states it will just be the two of them, causing the junior to worry about being held responsible if anything goes wrong.
A sudden, quick scratch sounds as Shin Byung-chul agrees to have everything ready for Monday and asks about the payment for his services. The junior student suggests calling it even because he still owes Kim Ho for help during a previous bandwave. The black-haired boy reflects on how he did not expect the other student to bring up paying off his debt first.
In a moment of nervous honesty, Shin Byung-chul admits he has only been to the underground once himself, leading Kim Ho to realize his junior is not very familiar with it. Kim Ho tells him it doesn't matter as long as it is his first time and urges him not to do a half-hearted job, to which the boy promises to serve with his utmost dedication.
A sudden, sharp swish sounds as Kim Ho tells him to add dungeon number 104 to the request for the sake of the experience.
Shin Byung-chul is shocked to see the B-rank Black Serpent Fang, a deep-level dungeon far beyond his ability, but Kim Ho tells him to simply ask the chief about it.
A sudden, quick slide sounds as the junior notes it is not completely impossible and promises to ask a lady about the request before leaving.
Looking over the balcony, Kim Ho tells the swordsman they will visit the Feathered Serpent Altar first, so the man can get a weapon, while the boy gains his own rewards. Kim Ho explains that they will use the following days to prepare and negotiate with the Thieves' Club regarding the Black Serpent Fang.
The long-haired man looks worried as he notes that even a small mistake in a deep-level dungeon can be fatal, but Kim Ho confirms he is prepared.
A sudden, quick ping sounds as Kim Ho activates his system and tells the swordsman that he will need to know the dungeon as well as the boy does. A sudden, quick swish sounds as Kim Ho provides digital walkthroughs for both dungeons to the stunned group. A sudden, heavy thud sounds as the black-haired boy places his hand on the guides and tells the man to memorize every single word. In the first workshop, Kim Ho asks the purple-haired senior if he obtained the floating stone extract, mana engine, and weather chip, and receives confirmation that the rare materials were gathered. A series of quick clacks sound as the senior asks to watch the boy finish his project.
Kim Ho announces he is finished as a sudden, quick swish sounds from a glowing golden circular artifact in his hands.
A sudden, quick slide sounds as the senior notes that the boy has managed to create something fascinating once again.
The senior observes that the item looks like the head of a staff or scepter and asks if there is a main body for it. But Kim Ho says he hasn't found a suitable one yet.
The black-haired boy plans to take his time with the remaining parts, while the senior mentions the lower levels of the dungeon district.
The purple-haired boy notes that the rainy season is over and assumes Kim Ho will not be at the workshop for a while, to which the boy expresses his gratitude for the help.
In a lecture hall, an instructor announces that the strategy mission theme is Sweep on the Rocky Zone map, and explains that clearing monsters leads to a high score.
He notes that terrain and teammates will be randomized to test the students in new environments with new partners.
A sudden, sharp thud sounds as the instructor dismisses the class.
Bukgung Hansol notes they won't be able to team up this week, while Kim Ho agrees that everyone will be going solo as the silver-haired girl sleeps at her desk.
The black-haired boy tells the waking Seo Yi-in to pause the mana bullet lectures since mentoring week is approaching.
Kim Ho suggests focusing on strengthening their fundamentals this week, which receives quiet agreement from both girls. A sudden low hum sounds as Kim Ho enters a random dungeon portal, noting that practice mode is a waste of time and he is aiming for the real thing.
Kim Ho reviews his strategy mission screen, hoping for a decent partner and aiming for a perfect completion score by the Sunday deadline.
A sudden, quick ping sounds as he checks his copy skills, deciding that he should overwrite his Magitech ability with a combat skill if he finds an ideal partner.
He notices that his partner is arriving through a portal just in time. A sudden, thunderous thud sounds as the red-haired girl is revealed to be his partner and reacts with shock at seeing him. A sudden, quick swish sounds as Hong Yanhua screams the boy's name in surprise while he wonders why she is reacting so intensely.
Kim Ho reflects on their many past matches, noting that since he crushed her every time, it is only natural for her to be intimidated.
He decides to keep the atmosphere a bit tense to ensure they clear the quest with maximum efficiency.
The black-haired boy intimidatingly tells the girl to stop standing around as they head out, and she nervously agrees to follow.
The duo dashes through a lush forest at high speed to begin the mission.
Hong Yunhua regrets not taking the day off and wonders why she insisted on clearing the dungeon so early. She rants to herself about how she wanted to avoid partnering with him of all people and wonders how she ended up in this situation. A sudden, quick swish sounds as several goblins are tossed into the air by a powerful gust, surprising the girl who thought the area was empty.
A series of sharp pings sound as the monster count drops rapidly, causing Hong Yunhua to realize how easy the task has become as she tells the boy to wait for a remaining monster.
The red-haired girl is frustrated that Kim Ho isn't even listening to her and feels stuck having to clean up the monsters he left alive.
Hong Yunhua blasts a goblin with a fire spell while noting Kim Ho's impressive skill.
The red-haired girl shouts about sticking together, but Kim Ho dismissively tells her to keep up and not fall behind as she reluctantly agrees.
Hong Yanhua follows the boy and senses that something is off about his performance during the mission.
A sudden, sharp crack sounds as Hong Yun-hwa observes that Kim Ho hasn't hesitated once, charging forward without a second thought. A sudden, thunderous roar sounds as the duo continues their relentless advance through the dungeon.
Hong Yanhua is amazed, feeling like Kim Ho has performed this specific mission hundreds of times before. A sudden, sharp clack sounds as Kim Ho signals for her to hold up immediately.
A sudden, low hum sounds as Kim Ho points out a burrow and suggests they investigate it more closely. A sudden, quick slide sounds as Hong Yun-hwa identifies the small opening as a goblin burrow, too small for a person to fit inside.
Kim Ho nonchalantly tells Hong Yanhua to check it out, leaving her in complete disbelief as she wonders if he's serious about her going in.
With a terrifying glint in his eyes, Kim Ho asks Hong Yanhua if she can handle the task, or if she simply doesn't want to. A sudden, sharp thud sounds as Hong Yanhua reluctantly agrees to enter the burrow, yielding to Kim Ho's pressure.
Kim Ho is confused, realizing he only intended for Hong Yanhua to cast a fire spell inside the hole, not enter it herself.
A sudden, thunderous roar sounds as a massive pillar of fire erupts from the burrow, prompting Kim Ho to note the fiery power of the Ruby Tower. A sudden, low hum sounds as the soot-covered girl rants while Kim Ho tries to reassure her that such accidents are common during dungeon crawls. A sudden, quick swish sounds as Hong Yanhua notes they successfully eliminated the goblins before they could emerge from their burrow. A sudden, sharp ping sounds as the system shows one monster remains, just as a massive axe head hurtles toward the pair. A sudden, heavy thud sounds as Kim Ho firmly grabs Hong Yunhua's arm to pull her to safety.
A sudden, quick swish sounds as Kim Ho moves Hong Yanhua out of danger, warning her she can't afford to lose focus in a dungeon.
A sudden, soft gasp sounds as Hong Yunhua stammers an apology while Kim Ho looks on in silence. A sudden, quick swish sounds as Kim Ho explains that the previous explosion must have given away their location to the enemy. A sudden, low growl sounds as the massive dungeon boss appears, brandishing its giant axe with menace. A sudden, quick tap sounds as Kim Ho tells Hong Yanhua that as long as they stay sharp, the boss will be easy, and suggests hitting him together to finish it fast.
Hong Yanhua is shaken and panting.
A sudden, soft hum sounds as Kim Ho decides he needs to boost Hong Yanhua's confidence to win the fight.
Kim Ho suddenly tells Hong Yanhua to handle the boss solo, eliciting a shocked and confused response from her.
A sudden, quick slide sounds as Kim Ho reassures her she's got this, though Hong Yanhua remains visibly nervous. A sudden, sharp clack sounds as Hong Yunhua steels herself and agrees to give the solo fight a shot as Kim Ho watches her.
Hong Yunhua channels her fire magic.
A system notification announces the activation of the overheat state as Kim Ho urges Hong Yanhua to show what she's really capable of.
The boss stares down Hong Yanhua.
Massive boss roars at her. Boss swings axe at her. Hong Yunhua evades the boss stroke. A sudden, sharp clack sounds as Hong Yunhua vaults over the boss's weapon, determined to win the fight.
A system window displays the flame orb skill as Hong Yanhua unleashes a powerful blast directly at the boss's head.
Hong Yanhua believes she landed a decisive blow, but the boss's glowing eye suggests the attack wasn't enough to stop it.
A recruitment poster for the Scanlation team asks for new members to join their group.
A sudden, soft hum sounds as Hong Yunhua wonders if the dungeon has a damage reduction trait that's weakening her spells.
Boss swings his giant axe.
Boss glares at his prey.
A sudden, quick swish sounds as Hong Yunhua realizes she must end the fight before her overheat effect expires. A sudden, sharp clack sounds as Hong Yanhua is shocked to see the boss swinging two axes at the same time.
A sudden, sharp clack sounds as the girl panics and tries to raise a barrier, realizing it's too late to dodge the boss's next strike.
Kim Ho parries the boss weapon. A sudden, soft hum sounds as Kim Ho reminds her not to let her guard down while holding back the boss's heavy strike.
Hong Yun-hwa is relieved to live. A sudden, soft hum sounds as Kim Ho instructs the girl to use her fire pillar skill, triggering an embarrassing memory of her training.
Hong Yun-hwa notes the limited range of her powerful skill, while Kim Ho promises to hold the boss down so she can focus on its power.
Kim Ho dashes toward the boss. A sudden, quick swish sounds as Kim Ho unleashes a swirling gust of wind against the boss.
The red-haired girl reflects that he didn't even give her time to think and decides she must focus on her role for now.
A sudden, low growl sounds as the monster reacts to the encroaching magic circle.
A series of sharp pings sound as Hong Yanhua shouts that the monster has noticed the magic circle, prompting Kim Ho to tell her to ignore it and keep moving.
A sudden, quick swish sounds as Kim Ho prepares another spell, apologizing to the beast.
A sudden, thunderous thud sounds as Kim Ho tells the beast it must play with him a while longer while knocking it flat on its back.
A sudden, quick swish sounds as Kim Ho stands over the fallen boss at the center of a massive, glowing magic circle.
Hong Yun-hwa shouts that the magic circle is ready and urgently tells Kim Ho to get out of its range.
A sudden, thunderous roar sounds as the monster screams in rage.
Kim Ho reflects that his elemental resistance would allow him to stay, but he decides to follow the girl's instructions for now.
A sudden, quick swish sounds as the boss swings its axes within the glowing circle. A sudden, quick tap sounds as Kim Ho leaps away, asking if he is far enough, which receives confirmation from the red-haired girl.
Hong Yun-hwa declares she will end the fight with a single shot.
A sudden, thunderous roar sounds as Hong Yanhua unleashes her fire pillar skill, consuming the boss in a massive eruption of flames.
A sudden, quick swish sounds as the fire reflects in the monster's glowing eye.
Kim Ho watches the destruction, noting the outcome was exactly as he expected. A sudden, quick swish sounds as the intense flames continue to swirl.
A sudden, quick swish sounds as the fire vortex reaches its peak.
A sudden, sharp ping sounds as the system confirms the monster count has dropped to 0 with a perfect completion score, leaving Hong Yanhua breathless as she realizes the fight is over.
Kim Ho reflects that the mission ended quickly and that they handled the boss well.
Kim Ho thinks he might have overdone it a bit while watching the red-haired girl pant from exhaustion.
Hong Yun-hwa stammers to get the boy's attention, receiving a questioning response.
The red-haired girl says she has a favor to ask, which causes Kim Ho to wonder why she is hesitating. Hong Yun-hwa stammers while a memory of Kim Ho pulling her to safety flashes through her mind.
Hong Yun-hwa asks if he could set the quest replay to private, promising to make up for any points he might lose.
A sudden, sharp thud sounds as the girl pulls out a gem, claiming it should be worth more than the replay.
Kim Ho is stunned, wondering why she would offer a ruby just to keep the replay private and thinking the reward is far too excessive.
Hong Yun-hwa worries that his silence means the gem isn't enough to satisfy him. A sudden, quick tap sounds as Hong Yun-hwa offers an even bigger ruby, but Kim Ho quickly stops her and tells her the first one is plenty.
Kim Ho gives a thumbs up and tells Hong Yun-hwa she worked hard.
The red-haired girl is flustered by his sudden praise, thinking to herself that he did everything himself from the start.
A sudden, quick swish sounds as Hong Yun-hwa tells him he worked hard too before vanishing into the portal, leaving Kim Ho to think she shouldn't be so self-conscious.
A sudden, sharp ping sounds as Kim Ho reflects that her movements were better than expected and that her reputation as a top prospect is well-deserved.
A sudden, quick slide sounds as Kim Ho reviews his skill menu, noting her close quarters combat helped him decide which skill to copy.
A sudden, quick swish sounds as Kim Ho notes that while he doesn't know what she absorbed with overheat, he has his own fire skill called Inferno Fist. Kim Ho reflects that the great power of the skill will significantly increase his physical abilities. A sudden, quick slide sounds as the black-haired boy wonders what he should do with the ruby he was given.
Kim Ho decides he will stop by the Ruby Magic Tower later since he needs to visit the dungeon building basement this evening anyway. At the ground floor of the dungeon building, Kim Ho notes his teammates haven't arrived yet and decides to check his quest rewards.
A sudden, sharp ping sounds as the system confirms the strategy battle is complete and grants him an additional copy trait slot.
Kim Ho is pleased that he can finally copy a new trait and hopes to find a useful one in the basement dungeon.
A sudden, sharp crack sounds as Kim Ho reacts to an unexpected voice.
A series of sharp clocks sound as Go Hyun-woo complains that Kim Ho should have told them he was already there since they were waiting upstairs.
A sudden, quick slide sounds as Shin Byung notes it is getting late and suggests they get moving.
The brown-haired Go Hyun-woo tells the others he has something to give them before they proceed.
A sudden, sharp clock sounds as Go Hyun-woo shows them a second year's tie pin and a John Doe badge, telling them to put them on.
A series of sharp clacks sound as Go Hyun-woo explains the items will make their faces look ordinary to avoid trouble with upperclassmen.
A sudden, quick swish sounds as Go Hyun-woo's face becomes a simple, blurry doodle, prompting Kim Ho to note his own face looks blurry too, while Shin Byung adds their identities will remain hidden.
Kim Ho agrees and asks the group if they should head down together.
A series of sharp clacks sound as the trio descends a deep, stone spiral staircase, wondering how much further they have to go.
The boy with the black ponytail sweats as he notes the long descent to the D-rank section and wonders how deep the dungeon's deep zone actually is.
Kim Ho explains that while teleportation devices normally exist, they cannot use them because they entered the dungeon covertly.
Kim Ho notes that a skilled guide could hack the systems, prompting the brown-haired Go Hyun-woo to laugh while scratching his neck in relief that they finally arrived.
The group reaches a massive stone door marked as Dungeon Number 388.
A swirling purple portal stands before the trio, identified as the entrance to the altar of the feathered serpent.
Kim Ho is glad they arrived unnoticed and urges the others to move quickly while following the strategy guide, but he suddenly stops as he notices another group nearby. A blue-haired girl and a purple-haired boy walk past, causing Kim Ho to mock the strange skills they are displaying.
The purple-haired stranger looks back with a questioning expression as he and the girl move away from the portal.
Kim Ho notes the other group is also there to clear the dungeon and is pleased that their anonymous badges are successfully hiding their identities. Kim Ho suggests entering immediately, but Go Hyun-woo places a hand on his shoulder and asks for a moment.
The brown-haired Go Hyun-woo holds a glowing blue cube, explaining that he needs to disable the area's security system first. Go Hyun-woo successfully stops all the security devices in the vicinity and tells his teammates they don't need to worry for a while.
Go Hyun-woo decides to stay outside to keep watch, while Kim Ho and the boy with the ponytail prepare to head inside to finish the task quickly. Entering the jungle-like dungeon, Kim Ho points toward a distant structure and identifies it as the core of the dungeon, the feathered serpent altar.
Kim Ho warns of barbarians guarding the area, while his teammate recalls reading about this location and the guide Kim Ho provided. Kim Ho senses danger just before a spear is hurled toward him from the dense foliage.
A sudden, sharp clack sounds as the boy with the ponytail deflects the incoming spear with his blade.
Tanned, tattooed barbarians wearing skull masks emerge from the forest, shouting that they have found sacrifices and must capture them alive. Surrounded by the masked warriors, Kim Ho mocks the logic of throwing lethal spears when their goal is to take prisoners.
The group of barbarians charges forward with their spears leveled at the two boys.
The boy with the ponytail asks if they should follow the plan, and Kim Ho gives a determined nod.
Kim Ho's hand begins to glow with a swirling, vibrant green energy as he prepares his attack.
A sudden, thunderous roar sounds as Kim Ho unleashes a powerful blast of energy that knocks the barbarians off their feet.
A series of sharp clacks sound as the boy with the ponytail deftly slashes through several enemies in a single motion.
The two boys split up to tackle their separate roles, wishing each other good luck as they head in different directions.
The barbarians are thrown into confusion, wondering who these intruders are and calling them exceptionally strong sacrifices.
The boy with the ponytail stands his ground against a fresh wave of enemies, declaring that he will be their opponent and wants to end this quickly.
A sudden, quick swish sounds as Kim Ho sprints through the rainforest, noting that he is taking a non-standard route while his teammate heads for the altar. Kim Ho reflects on the dungeon's clear conditions, which involve breaking through the barbarians to stop a ritual. Kim Ho scouts a camp with two barbarians sitting by a fire, thinking that he needs to search places others ignore to find what he is looking for.
Observing that most barbarians have gathered at the altar, Kim Ho is confident they won't be a match for his teammates' strength.
Kim Ho jumps into the middle of the camp with a casual greeting, prompting the guards to spring up and call him a sacrifice.
The barbarians repeat their demand to capture him alive, causing Kim Ho to sweat as he wonders if that is all they know how to say.
Kim Ho gathers green energy around himself and states he has no interest in dealing with small fry.
Kim Ho demands that the guards bring their chief to him instead.
A sudden, thunderous boom sounds as the two barbarians are sent flying by a powerful shockwave.
Standing over the defeated warriors, Kim Ho notes to himself that everything is going according to his plan so far.
Kim Ho spots a uniquely massive tent in the camp and correctly identifies it as the chief's exclusive residence. A blinding golden light suddenly erupts from the entrance of the large tent. A sudden, sharp ping sounds as Kim Ho is forced to dodge a high-speed golden energy beam.
The barbarian chief emerges, adorned with feathers and a skull mask, and declares that Kim Ho's strong energy will make him an excellent sacrifice.
Kim Ho activates his fire skills, Inferno Fist and Overheat, while complaining that everyone he meets only wants to talk about sacrifices.
Kim Ho reflects that he needs to keep the chief occupied here so his teammate can find the hidden piece, which is why he sought out this village.
A series of sharp pings sound as the chief fires more golden beams, which Kim Ho narrowly avoids.
Kim Ho realizes that the golden attacks are not elemental and would be fatal if they landed even once. Having pushed his physical abilities to the extreme with his skills, Kim Ho charges directly toward the masked chief. Kim Ho closes the distance and prepares a powerful strike against his opponent.
A sudden, sharp crack sounds as Kim Ho's flaming fist smashes through the chief's golden protective barrier.
A sudden, thunderous boom sounds as the impact of Kim Ho's punch creates a massive explosion of energy.
Kim Ho looks at his glowing hand and notes that the combination of Inferno Fist and Overheat is surprisingly effective at smashing through D-rank defenses.
A sudden, quick swish sounds as Kim Ho wonders if the boss's high level is the reason his attacks are doing so little damage.
A sudden, soft hum sounds as Kim Ho teases the enemy for being far too sloppy.
A sudden, low growl sounds as the priest vows he won't let him die peacefully while Kim Ho mocks the monster's intense rage.
A series of sharp pings sound as Kim Ho notes that a priest's priority is the ritual and it will flee if he only dodges moderately.
A sudden, low growl sounds as Kim Ho explains that making the boss angry is necessary to prevent it from escaping.
A series of sharp pings sound as Kim Ho notes that the fight becomes harder as the boss gets angrier and unleashes more attacks.
A sudden, quick tap sounds as Kim Ho encourages Go Hyun-woo and says the rest is up to him.
Go Hyun-woo ascends the bloody stairs.